Hello, and welcome to our second episode of Haven of Horrors. This episode is titled, I Wasn't Always Afraid of the Dark. I'm your narrator, Rue, and I use he or they pronouns. And you can find me on Twitter as @IwanaKnight. And Ro, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Sure. I'm Rob. I use they, them pronouns. I am playing Alina, who's a 90-ish-year-old looking lady who uses she, her pronouns. That's it for now.
Oh, I'm Kestrel. I use ze, them, theirs pronouns, and I am playing Apia, who uses they, them, theirs pronouns, who moves like a horse that hasn't quite figured out that they're a horse yet.
Birdie, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Birdie. I use she or they pronouns. I'm playing Maria, who didn't quite know what she was expecting when she signed up for work, but it wasn't this.
Ryan?
Hi, I'm Ryan. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Stillhive, who uses they, them pronouns, and who is present.
And last but not least, Ari, who we didn't get to meet last time because of schedule conflicts. Tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Ari. I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Vivian, who uses she, her pronouns. She's a baddie. She's everything. She's thick. She's goth. So like I said, she's everything. She signed up for this fully knowing what was going to happen. She's giving very much Raven from Teen Titans. She's very much annoyed that she has to deal with all of this supernatural nonsense, even though she put herself in this situation. And she comes from a long family of Black people who are like kind of magical and creepy, but like there's no explanation ever. So she sort of just takes everything at face value. And yeah, and she wasn't here before because something happened with her job and she was like, oh my God, I have to go do whatever at my job. Sorry, y'all. But now she's back.
Because this is a horror system, I like to start our episodes with a reminder that there are some content warnings, and if certain content upsets you or potentially triggers you, there will be a warning at the start. So for this episode, our main content warnings are a mention of ghosts, a lot of talk of darkness and sensory deprivation, and some mild religious imagery and cult practices. So if any of those things are upsetting and triggering to you, we won't be upset if you need to take the space to be safe today and take a step back from this episode. But other than that, we're happy to have you here. And why don't I take us into another day at the Ravenwood Institute? It is probably about 9 a.m. like usual. You all come into work at whenever you kind of feel like it. The Ravenwood Institute doesn't keep a very strict schedule. You could walk into work at noon and no one would really care. But if you want to get things done, you get here at about 9:30 before something terrible happens and you get shipped off somewhere to deal with it. So at about 9 a.m., the doors are unlocked and free for you all to walk in and start setting up for your day. There are folders on each of your desks for you to take into the conference room where you will do your statement reading as usual.
Cool. Moments before we actually walk into the room for the statement reading, Alina will gesture towards Maria for her to accompany her.
She will follow.
Alina will take Maria to her office. She will sit down. She will gesture towards the other chair, the one for whoever's visiting.
She looks a little bit nervous, like kind of picks at the edge of she's got band-aids around all 4 of her fingers, kind of like playing with the edge of that. But yeah, she sits down. She just is like, am I in trouble?
No. How are you feeling about
That's a big question.
Yeah, I meant about the events of
Yeah,
last week. I guess was it last week, or how long ago was it?
Probably like a week and a half ago. You don't get cases that require personal investigation all the time. It's about every week or week and a half.
Give me a second. Someone's telling me my captioning is not working. Give me 1 second.
Technical difficulties.
It stopped captioning for some reason. There we go. Anyway. Lena sits down and she looks over at Maria. She sighs. She says, no doubt you've noticed that everyone working here at the Institute is
a little weird.
Yes. You being the notable exception. Even our dear head archivist might look normal, but this line of work generally not only attracts that kind of people, but it also turns people. It leaves a mark. What I'm saying is, most people will go their entire life without encountering something like this. Even people who are in your situation, who work here, might briefly work here and not encounter something like what we saw last week ever, and then leave, go on with their lives. A lot of people also encounter it once and then never again. What I'm trying to say here, dear, is that if you stay here, there might not be a normal life to return to. So I'm putting it to you, giving you the choice of leave now while you still remain you.
That's a lot to put on me at 9 a.m.
Well, give it some thought. You don't have to answer now.
Okay.
I'm not putting you on a deadline. I'm just trying to tell you that, how do I explain this? There might be a point where you can't really leave.
I have questions, but I don't really know what they are. Thank you, I think.
Don't mention it.
We should probably get to the statement reading.
Probably, yes. You go ahead, I'll follow.
Yeah.
Lena will wait a little bit before going. She will stay in her office for a moment. And then
Okay. I mean, Damien will wait for her to start because he doesn't want to exclude anyone. But once you are all gathered at the table, he will sit and take a seat at the head. Be like, how is everyone today? How are we doing? It's been a while since we had to do field work.
Apia now has acquired a mug. It's chipped in a couple places, like the enamel is like cracked, and it says in like kind of like almost scratched off letters. Like this is a very old mug. It says, "Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee." But the "until I've had my coffee" is kind of like more scratched off than the rest of it, so it just kind of looks like it says, "Don't talk to me."
Fair enough.
Alina is very thankful that Apia got an actual mug to drink from.
How are Still Hive and Vivian doing?
We are.
Fair enough.
I am excellent.
Thank you, Still Hive. So then, if no one has any concerns to bring up to me, let me get to reading and we can see what needs to be done.
That would be nice, yes.
As an outside note, this statement will be where the heaviest triggers are for the things that I mentioned earlier. So darkness, sensory deprivation, and cult practices. So this is the heaviest portion of the episode. So if you need to mute for this, I will let Nova know when the worst is over, so to speak, so that you can turn things back on and hear the investigation.
Right before Damien starts, Vivian, who's usually deadpan, leans in and she's like, I always like this part. And just listens very intently.
Statement of Kira Reynolds regarding a Tuesday evening at the Black Lily Theater. I know what you're thinking. A theater technician making a statement about paranormal shit. I'm sure you get dozens of statements from people like me all the time. Theater's pretty famous for being a superstitious field. We claim it for the most part. Scottish play, break a leg, all that jazz. I get it. We're more likely to spook to spooky when something happens. But not all of us are so superstitious, and sometimes real weird shit happens. I've never been one for all those superstitions. There's some general theater ones, but every theater I've ever worked at has their own personal twists. I worked at a theater once where every single actor I interacted with insisted on walking backwards into certain rooms because it was bad luck to turn your back on a picture. I'm used to superstition, and I don't care about it for the most part. I let them do what they need to do to feel psyched up for a show, so long as it doesn't interfere with my work and I get on with my day. You know, a lot of the superstitions have reasonable explanations, right? Like the whole thing about walking under ladders. It's bad luck because if the ladder breaks, it's going to fall right on your head, and that's pretty bad luck. Or stepping on a crack. I don't know if it puts mothers in danger, but there's a chance you'll twist your ankle or worse. So for the most part, superstitions are just about staying safe with a spooky twist. Oh no, I'm frozen. Let me see if I can fix that.
You're fine now.
It literally picks
Okay,
up on
sorry
you.
about that. Sorry about that. A lot of theater superstitions are less relevant, I guess is the best way to put it. There's all the stories about people dying when putting on Macbeth, but no real reason why you shouldn't say the name in a theater. And the whole break a leg instead of good luck thing is, I think, more trying to keep actors from getting too nervous. Actors as a whole are a pretty nervous group of people. One of them can be traced to something meaningful, though. You ever been to a theater after hours? Probably not, unless you've worked in one. We always keep one light on, usually a standalone lamp that you can roll out onto the stage. The rest of the lights are off, and it's just this one light bulb in an otherwise pitch black room. We call it a ghost light, or an equity lamp if you're an equity theater and stuffy about that sort of thing. But colloquially, the most term used is ghost light or ghost lamp. The old superstition is that every theater has a ghost, and that ghost desperately wants to perform again. So they leave a lamp on at night so the ghosts can perform on stage, and so they don't interrupt the performances during the day. That's also apparently why we don't do shows at least once a week. It's for the ghosts to perform, and definitely not a day off thanks to labor negotiations. Anyway, the real purpose of a ghost light is safety. Keep a lamp on so that if someone has to come into the theater after hours, they don't fall off the stage or break any of the equipment. Or if you're the first person coming in, you have some light on your way to the breakers to turn the rest of the lights on. It's a pretty important part of my nightly routine. Turn on the ghost light and wheel it out to the middle of the stage before I lock up. All right, now you've got your background. On Tuesdays, we rent the theater to some church group. It's not uncommon. A lot of smaller churches don't have the money to keep a facility up, so they rent out local community centers and theaters for services. We just keep a couple of techies on site to make sure they don't break anything and lock up after they leave. We've been renting to this place for a while, so we're a little more lax these days. Maybe we shouldn't have been, in hindsight. But for as long as I've worked at the Black Lily, we've given the Church of the Rising Star a lot of leeway. They come in early, stay late. At one point, someone even mentioned them having their own keys to the building, which is absolutely not kosher. But I don't run the place, and I like my job, so I don't ask too many questions. I've come in on a Wednesday after the church service. Most of the time, the ghost light is there, but sometimes it's not. Probably whoever they have lock up doesn't know how to set it. Because of my schedule, I haven't worked too many Tuesday shifts. Usually it's one of the higher ups. Cushy evenings with not much to worry about for the managers. But somehow, they were all on vacation or unavailable for last Tuesday's church service, so it fell to me. I was kind of excited, actually. From what I'd heard, it would be 5 hours of sitting in the booth, changing their PowerPoint on the projector when they asked, or playing the backing track for the choir. Pretty easy money compared to what I do on an average night. Just meant I'd probably be staying late. I wasn't about to let them lock up alone. I opened the building at 7. They're a late night group. Service doesn't even start till 8:30. But the pastor or reverend or whatever got there right on time and started setting things up, giving me a disc with sound to play. I had to bite my tongue to ask if he needed a flash drive. Some people are just old-fashioned. I asked what lights he needed, just the stage or the audience, or if he wanted work lights too, and he stared blankly back at me. I should say, I assumed he was staring. He was wearing very dark sunglasses. After a moment, he shook his head and said the aisle lights would be more than enough. Definitely not my choice for an event, but technically safe. The aisle lights never turned off, and you can see clearly enough to reach your seat with them. I told him I'd be in the booth if he needed anything and went to set up the sound system, much happier in my element in the tech booth than dealing with the people coming into the theater. People trickled in over the next hour or so. I could barely see into the theater with all the lights, but I could see their outlines and hear quiet chatter on the way in. The pastor was on the stage, and I watched as he moved the ghost light into one of the wings, leaving the stage in total blackness. Immediately worried, I stood, ready to call over the mic in case of an emergency. The last thing I wanted was a lawsuit over a man falling off the stage and directly into the orchestra pit. I waited for a moment, and then there was a light from on stage, a flashlight shining up into the booth. I covered my eyes against the glare, opening the window. The man spoke again, telling me to start the soundtrack. They were ready to begin. Weirded out, I closed the window back up and pressed play, looking forward to zoning out to whatever weird church organs they decided to play for the next hour and a half. Only it wasn't church organs, it was silence. That's the best way I can describe it. It was nothing. Or if you've ever been into one of those quiet rooms or worn sound canceling headphones, it was kind of like that, but so much stronger. Like they were broadcasting a frequency that blocked out all other sounds. I felt like I could hear my own breath and pulse for lack of other sound. I couldn't hear the church service either. I sat out the window, hoping against hope to hear the pastor's voice again, to listen to whatever sermon he was going to give. I could see the faint outline of him moving across the stage now and then, anytime he got close enough to one of the aisles to catch the faintest bit of light. I could only assume he was talking and that the congregation had responses, but I couldn't hear them. Whatever they were saying wasn't for me. The total silence was not doing wonders for my anxiety, and I didn't have anything else to do until they left for the evening, so I put my earbuds in and decided to catch up on some podcasts. It was much better than experiencing silence. I zoned out for a bit, checking in during the ad breaks of my podcast to make sure they didn't need anything from me. Every time it was the same, unnerving nothingness and the vague notion of movement from on stage. If anything, it felt like the auditorium screen was darkened. It felt like the auditorium was darker somehow, and that my booth was darker as well, the computer screens not lighting the desks quite so well. I moved to flick the desk lamp on, but the clicking didn't come with an accompanying light. It was plugged in, but nothing happened when I flicked it on or off. Someone must have forgotten to change the light bulb after the last show. I sighed and sat back, looking over to the computer to check how much longer was left on the track, and therefore how much time was left for the service, I assumed. But the computer screen was off, the only light in the room coming from my phone. I shook the mouse and tapped a couple of innocuous keys, assuming the monitor had gone to sleep, but nothing made the computer turn on. The sound was still playing, though. If anything, it seemed to have gotten worse. Louder wasn't the right word, as it's an absence of sound, but it's the best I've got. I got out of the chair and opened the door of the booth, intending on asking the church to stop their service until I could fix the tech issue. But I opened the door to absolute blackness. The aisle lights were all off, and I couldn't see a thing. I shook my phone to turn the flashlight on. It came on for a second before flickering out, and my phone screen went black with it. I stood as still as I could, back to the wall, and slid down. I didn't want to risk taking a tumble down the stairs from the booth. The blackness and absence of all sound washed over me until I couldn't feel anything, as if I was disconnected from my body. I don't know how long I sat there in the darkness and silence. I might have actually blacked out. When I finally opened my eyes, the aisle lights were back on and the seats were empty. I hurried through the building looking for any members of the church who might have still been present, but I couldn't find any. The only signs that they were there at all was the ghost light unplugged and pushed into one of the wings. I turned it on, made quick work as my lockup as I could, and hurried out of the theater. I have never been so happy to see the neon lights of the dive bar across the street. I never understood people who were afraid of the dark. I think I get it now. Statement ends.
Well,
It certainly
definitely,
sounds.
like, well, to me, it sounded like some kind of sensory deprivation chamber that was like created because of the pastor's insistence on having no light, as that destroys the immersion of the sensory deprivation chamber. But also, like, what? That's what? Who? How? Who does that? That an entire room? Is that even possible?
How would
And
you?
why?
How would you even turn an entire theater into a sensory deprivation room? Don't you need noise canceling walls and that sort of thing?
I thought you
heard if-
did.
I've heard if you get in those noise canceling walls, you like start to hear your stomach and things, and people like go insane.
Well, you
Just-
know what?
That would.
Something I've
It still
heard.
wouldn't exactly explain the flashlight not turning on, or I suppose it could just.
That could be a coincidence. But
Yeah.
even if
Possibly.
even if they did manage to turn an entire theater into a sensory deprivation chamber, it wouldn't act that fast on someone just entering the room.
You know
Yes,
what's
exactly.
considerably more likely is that, well, assuming that this person is the exception and that what happened to them only happened to them and was not intentional, it's very possible that whatever sound that was being played only had this extreme effect on Kiera because she was inside of the booth by herself. And maybe it was amplified because of that. Everyone else was in a big open room.
Just sounds pretty awful.
It does. It definitely sounds like there were some psychological elements combined in there, because that was a little overpowering.
There is also the point that the author mentions that you're not supposed to turn the certain kind of light off.
Right.
But somehow the pastor seemed to be able to, so maybe he has access to the power of the building.
This is true. He could have turned off the power.
I think the best argument for giving credence to this being a supernatural event is, rather than the event itself, the people. Not the statement giver, but the group.
The others, yes.
The theater.
They're the ones that need in questioning, investigating, analysis, our job, all that.
I think how long ago was this statement given?
It's. I will say that it is like a Monday, and you received the statement last Thursday, so last week.
Okay.
We should probably check on the statement giver. If the group,
They also said Black Lily.
what was the group
right?
called? Sorry, the
The Church of the Rising Star.
Church of the Rising Star. Odd name.
I'm thinking of the
Oh, the
auditorium.
theater is the Black
Theater.
Lily Theater.
Yeah,
Mm.
the theater. The Church of the Rising Star. Okay, well,
We
I'll
should
do some
do some.
investigation into the Church of the Rising Star. See if that's a real thing. What's up with that? Anybody want to come with me?
I'll come with.
To the theater or to
To
the church?
our archives, just to see if we have any information.
Oh,
Boxes.
I can do that.
yes, check the archive.
Good.
I'm going to call the statement giver to see if they have any following up.
Good idea.
All right.
Maria,
I
you're
must-
smart, right? You'll be
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I
can read.
think so. I do know how to read.
Smart.
Would you like to check the archives first, or would you like to call the statement giver first?
No, check the archive first. See if there's anything that we might want to ask in there.
Good question. Okay.
All right. So when you're going into the archive, because you're going to be searching through the boxes, you can each roll independently, or you can roll together and like give that person a +1, whatever you prefer to do. And Ari, you can choose to roll with thought or power, and Maria, you can roll with thought.
I'll roll with power, and Maria, if I remember correctly, out of character. I think your thought modifier was a 1, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it
in
is.
character. I don't remember if you are as I am. So I think you'll help me out here. You get my drift?
No, but let's do it anyway.
All right. So Maria, you're gonna help him look and let him take let Vivian take +1 forward.
Sure.
Okay. So she gets so roll 2d6 and then add your power modifier and an extra +1.
13 total.
Oh, woof! That is very good.
That's a way to start a session.
You walk into the boxes and you don't even have to like think about the fact that you like. It's almost as if the box you're looking for is like different in your mind. You know how when you're in a video game and there's a fake wall and it's like a wrong texture? That, but in real life.
Yep.
And one of the boxes
This box is not part of the background. It must be important.
Yeah, it's
when you see a cartoon and the background is painted and something is animated, you're like, that thing is important.
Yeah, the rest of the boxes in the archive are just actually wallpaper, and you found the only real box. So you find the box you're looking for, and there's actually a folder labeled for the Church of the Rising Star. And because you rolled a 13, you get to have all this information that I have on this sheet, because you literally couldn't have done better. So they span a great deal of time, and different chapters seem to pop up here and there. It's been about 5 years since you've got a statement regarding the church. Like the most recent one prior to this was about 5 years ago. As far as you can tell from this statement 5 years ago in the notes, the church doesn't seem to have an internet or social media presence. They have a phone number listed, but no address. They don't have a physical address. And the previous statement, the one from 5 years ago, lists their leader as a man named Reverend Father Adam.
Okay. Is that all the information we have?
Yes.
Okay. Well.
Oh, and the fact that all of the statements in this folder have to do with either very questionable religious practices, like not necessarily sacrifices, but like mysterious late night gatherings in places that you wouldn't really gather, or like disappearances that people insist, like their friends started attending this church and then they didn't see them again. And all of them tend to take, like, there's not a single one that takes place during the day. Every single one of these statements takes place at night.
So what happened is Vivian and Maria walk into this room, and Vivian lock on to this box and just picks it up and pulls out the specific folder and leaves through it for 4 seconds and goes, "It's a cult." And then we leave it. And then we leave the room. That's all. And this whole process takes like 6 minutes, so we go back out. We're like, "It's a cult." Yeah, here's their phone number.
Maria,
Alina was expecting them to spend more time investigating, so she like started making tea for herself.
As a
She was
side
thinking,
note,
"Yeah, I'm gonna have some time before they actually come up with the information." So
I was wondering if I could do after this some research into the theater.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
on the way back from the archives, that Vivian has just destroyed the research, like the best possible research you could have done. Maria's just like, "Wow, that was really impressive. How did you know?"
Vivian is just walking okay, Vivian is 6 foot tall, and I think she has I don't know how tall her heels are, but I think they're like 5 inches. She has like platform heels. So they're like really tall. They might be they might even be higher, but she like strides. So she's like walking and like making the click heel sound, and she's like,
She has to like, Maria has to like jog to keep up practically.
just walking very slowly, just like, doot, doot, like just click.
Like, why is pretty much everybody in this group so fucking tall? All of our characters are so fucking tall.
I really like it because Damien, the archivist, is like 5'5" max.
Yeah, Maria is also like 5'4".
Apia is like a bit over 6 feet, but like tends to hunch a little bit, like just sort of slumped over wherever they are.
Power. Our power.
The drama of it all.
Like.
But yeah, Apia, if you want to, how do you want to look for information on the theater before we call the statement giver and everything?
I keep forgetting that I can't Google stuff.
You can.
I can try.
You can try.
I'm really not. All right, I'm gonna very tentatively attempt to use the computer. I like press every key on the computer and then like kind of pull away a little bit. Like it's not like a fluid motion. I'm like kind of like am I breaking it? Is this breaking it? So I'm just kind of trying to see like the history of the theater, if anything has ever happened there, specifically trying to see if anybody's ever died there. Yep. Because of the ghost light stuff. I know that that's like a thing in every theater, but just want to see if anybody's ever fallen into the orchestra pit and fell right on top of a cello through their chest.
That's a very specific way to die, and I love it.
Statement inspiration.
Give me a thought.
Who do you think is worse at using computers, Alina or Apia?
Well, I mean, I have the chance of just like destroying the computer by being near it. So, all right, thought roll.
Yep, thought roll.
THOT roll.
Hey.
Okay. I got a 9.
Hey.
So
Period.
So I didn't instantly blow up the computer. That's pretty nice.
Don't break the computer.
Yay.
Yet.
Yet. It takes you a little while, mostly because, again, you know that tech and you don't get along, so you're very cautiously typing. And so, whereas Vivian got her information in an instant, it takes you a good amount of time to type this into Google and press enter. And like, you maybe are not the world's like strongest Google sleuth, so you don't know to like scroll through multiple pages and things, so you just sort of stick to the first few articles that come up. The first couple are just the theater's like advertising things that tells you the schedule, what shows are running, and there's a space to make a reservation if you want to reserve the theater for your own event. And then after that, there are like news articles about the theater and about its openings. The only one that sort of sticks out to you as odd is that it recently celebrated its 20-year anniversary of reopening after
Oh, I said very quietly, why'd she close?
After being closed for what?
After being closed for what is described by the article as an unfortunate accident in which a stagehand who was cleaning up after a show tripped and fell off of the catwalks and died.
Okay.
Onto a cello?
Cool.
Not onto a cello, just like right onto the stage. The catwalks are like 40 feet up, so it's bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I've known people who do like catwalk stuff. Just freaking terrifying. Jeez.
I'm scared of them. I work in a theater and I'm scared of them.
I have known people who have actually, because I knew orchestra kids in high school. I knew people who had fallen into the orchestra pit. It's fucking scary. Shit's terrifying.
Shit's terrifying. That's
our motto.
tagline for an episode.
Yeah, that's just gonna be my new tagline. Is shit's terrifying.
Terrifying.
Haven of horrors.
No,
Shit's terrifying.
Never mind my old catchphrase for this system. It's out the window now.
What was the name of the stagehand that died?
Oh, the name of the one that died?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the stagehand that died, sorry, I have it over here, is Stuart Young.
All right.
And so when in the article that you read, when they reopened the theater, they had like a plaque dedicated to him backstage.
Okay.
Right. It's
let's put up a plaque to this man in the place that he fell to his death and broke his back on the stage. Cool. Sick.
Although the statement mentions nothing about any kind of ghost or this man.
Yeah, they really made it seem like it was going to be a ghost thing. And it really wasn't.
Right, the statement is about a cult, and it has to do with darkness, not with death or a ghost.
Well,
I think
it's
the
entirely
statement giver
possible
might be
that
hiding something. Or they might have forgot to mention something.
Out of character, this is kind of tripping me out a little bit because this, like, the feeling of cold and darkness and not being able to use technology is what happens when you walk into a ghost. Like, I'm a pagan, I work with ghosts. This is what happens when you walk into a ghost.
I'm sorry.
I have no idea what the fuck that means.
If you need me to describe things differently, if it's like freaking you out, let me know.
Oh no, it's absolutely fine. I just find it funny.
Oh, okay.
Because I've worked with a lot of ghosts.
I was making sure that I wasn't like actively triggering a fear response.
No, it's fine. I'm like not scared of ghosts because I work with them all the time. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's funny. So that's kind of the other reason that I was researching this, is because I know that APA wouldn't know this in character, but me out of character, I'm kind of thinking about ghosts.
Oh, it's definitely a
Reminded me of
possibility. It's
that.
something that I was considering, but
Yeah.
it's not mentioned in the statement. And I think
Yeah,
it might be a factor. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
We can put a pin in the ghost.
Wait a
It's
minute.
weird that she talks about. It's weird that she talks about like the ghost light for so long, and then it's like, oh wait, we're cult shit now. So I feel like there definitely is like a thread there, and also with them not turning on the ghost light occasionally.
Yeah, I
feels important.
Personally don't know anything about ghosts, but Vivian would, and that was very convenient with the information you just gave, Kestrel. That if that means that, well, it doesn't mean that there was a ghost, but it implies that ghost activity was taking place. And since this cult, I'm just gonna, call it a cult. We're not gonna beat on Bush.
Yeah, let's not mess around with words.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much of a stretch. Since this cult doesn't meet in the same place all the time, maybe they go to places that actually have ghosts. And I don't know, this part is very much a speculation, but like expand them or use themselves as a conduit for its power, because manifesting an entire area as a sensory deprivation chamber is like pretty scientifically impossible. And considering that the technology wasn't working at the same time, that's very ghosty. So I think that's worth investigating where the what is this place called? The Bright Star Church, whatever.
Church of the Rising Star.
The Church of the Rising Star. I think it's definitely worth investigating where they've been in the past and seeing if those places have any kind of connotation too. It might be worthwhile splitting up and having one group of people investigate that and the other group of people investigate the location, because we do have some leads in a lot of directions. What do y'all think?
I do agree with that. We have a lead regarding the theater, but where would we go to find the Church of the Rising Star? They don't have its location to follow.
We can always attend their service.
We probably, for one, we should do that. But two, it said, where did the last part that we got from
attending the service is, Alina will say this in character. If we need to infiltrate them, I'm more than willing to give it a try. I think I am the one who would probably pass more, I'm trying to find the right word. I think I would be better suited as a spy in this situation.
I'm trying to go.
You're saying that I'm suspicious? You're saying there's something suspicious about 6-foot gangly motherfucker wandering into a church?
If you're saying it, sure. I wasn't implying anything.
I'm trying very hard to go into this job with an open mind, but I think that I have to draw a line at joining cults. But
we're not joining a cult. We're pretending to join a cult.
That's how they get you.
That's how the Mormon Church got me.
That is how they get you. That is how they get you. Vivian's like, that is how they get you. Like, I guess so. Wait. The last report that we got 5 years ago, where did it say that this church was? Because I would like to investigate that location. Did it give a location?
The last statement that you got regarding this church was they were holding meetings in an old, like, one of those like outdoor, they're not quite like theaters, but like outdoor places where there's like
amphitheater.
Like yes, that's what they're called. One of those amphitheaters. at like
And it
2 in
doesn't
the
have a
morning.
location?
Were all of their services at theaters?
No, they're mostly in like places that can be rented out, so like community centers and things like that, but all very small spaces or places where like, so they've rented out church basements and community center basements and outdoor fields and gazebos, sort of anywhere they could fit their fairly few members. At most you have depictions of them having about 20 members, and have a service at night. So places that are open to being rented at night.
Can I research the amphitheater?
Yeah, do we know where
Cool.
that place is, that specific location?
I'd like to attempt to Google
Google.
the amphitheater.
Yeah, it's sort of basic information is given to you. It's run by not the city that you live in, but a city a couple of cities away maintains it as part of their Parks and Public Works project.
Okay. This part I might not be able to find everything on in 12 seconds. So, Alina, I think it would be fair if at least one of us stayed to find all the other potential loose ends, and then a few of us or the rest of us went to the theater or investigated other places at the what is this cult called? I can't even. It's so
Church of the
culty.
Rising Star.
It's
Rising
a
Star. I'm so
very generic name in a sense.
It is.
Yeah, it's
so
called nothing essentially.
It's so not standout in that sense.
Oh, I was just
Personally,
gonna
would
say that
like
maybe.
to- Sorry, you were saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe Maria should stay behind since they seemed like the person who is the least jazzed to go to the cult.
And
We can stay home. It's okay, Maria. We can do filing together.
I'm good at that.
We can
Grad
file
school.
bold statements.
We're all in the car going like, cult, 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 cult.
Cult. So
And
it's
Maria,
gonna go like John
Maria just
Mulaney's
says, we have cult at
McDonald's.
home.
Damien's like,
We
all
have
of
a
these
cult at home.
places. Damien's like, all of the places we've described have stairs, and I don't like those. I walk with a cane, and I don't like stairs.
Yeah, theaters aren't known for being the most accessible places.
No. But yeah, did you want to call the statement giver before you guys go places? And I know you wanted to Google the amphitheater as well, Apia, right?
I would love to Google the amphitheater.
Can I help them Google? Can I? We're just the meme with like a teenager and an old person. They're like, no, and then just standing over them like, please, no, the whole time.
Help me Google.
I will let Alina make her phone call because that was her thing. She can take out her rotary phone and make a phone call.
Oh my gosh, mood.
Which Ro has one on hand.
I don't know if you can hear the rotary phone. Can you?
Yeah.
I'm calling.
All right. It takes about 3 rings before someone answers. And the person who answers sounds a little groggy. Hello, yeah?
Hello, sorry about the time. I'm calling from the Ravenwood Institute. My name is Alina. Is Kira speaking?
Oh, yes. Good morning. Sorry, I had a late night last night. Yeah, I'm Kira. Hi.
Hello. I wanted to know if you had any follow-up statement to give to accompany yours. We are investigating that right now.
Oh, I mean, they haven't been back yet since they have a service tomorrow. Obviously, it's every Tuesday. But I've put in a request to never do that again because it was horrible. I've never seen the theater without any lights on.
Right. So you're saying that they have a service tomorrow. That's, do you know what time specifically?
People start arriving at like 7:30, and I think they start formally at 8:30. But usually we unlock the door for them at 7 so they can prepare. That's what I had to do.
Very well. I have a different question, not regarding your studying specifically, but regarding the theater.
Okay.
I'm aware that someone died at the theater some 20 years ago. There's a plaque commemorating their death.
Oh yeah, the young plaque. It's in the back, like where the actors get ready. Most of them say like good night to him on their way in and stuff.
Right. Do you know if Mr. Young, how to put this? Do you know if there's any stories regarding Mr. Young posthumously? Sort of
I'm
ghost
not
stories?
not personally. If you wanted ghost stories, you'd have to ask probably one of the actors. They're the ones that tell them. We don't really get involved with that as the tech folk. We're a little too busy.
Hmm.
But I
Very
mean,
well. And how are you feeling? Have you experienced anything similar to what you experienced during that night again?
I haven't. I have left a light on in every room that I'm in so that I don't have to feel like that ever again. But my phone seems to be working, so whatever was wrong with my phone is better.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Again, sorry for calling you so early. And if you know of anything, let us know.
Okay, thank you, and thank you so much for looking into this. It means a lot to me.
It's our job. Have a good day.
You too.
Oh,
Mhm.
I'll tell the rest of the staff. Our lovely church seems to have a service tomorrow night.
A
So
field trip.
Do not. Oh my god.
we should probably, or at least I propose that we check out the theater today.
Yeah.
And then if we feel the need to have a more hands-on approach, we can use the opportunity that tomorrow gives us.
Definitely. Definitely.
Apia, did you want to check out the amphitheater?
Yes, I would like to check out the amphitheater.
Because Vivian is showing you how to use Google, you can take +1 on your roll.
Nice. Me rolling dice. I fear. Anyway, I got another 9.
Nice. Once again, Apia doesn't break the computer.
Nice.
Yeah, you do some Googling again with the whole like, it takes you a little bit and you're a little bit less thorough with your vetting of Google sources than the like a tech savvy person would be.
Yes.
But you can't seem to find anything morbid about the amphitheater. There was a long period of time in which it lay dormant and didn't seem to be in use, and then the city decided to like upkeep it and bring it back.
Okay.
So it, aside from the fact that it was overgrown and not taken care of for a while, there's no like gory, gruesome death stories or anything
Okay.
That we know of.
that we know of.
No.
I'm going to take a minute to record most of what we've already said in the session into my tape recorder.
Perfect.
Do you guys want to? Because I've never dealt with a cult before. I've only dealt with not cults. So do you want to maybe? Do you want to call them or do you want to just show up? I don't know which one would be less suspicious. Oh, by the way, Alina, I would like to come with you. I've never been to a cult before. Sounds fun.
AP is interested in going to the cult.
I would also
Well-
like to go.
The gang goes to the cult.
And then Vivian is still next to Maria, and Vivian like hit bumps Maria, which like touches her shoulder and is like, "Come on, you know you want to go to the call."
Alina desperately trying to keep all these clowns alive.
Come on.
It's like Always Sunny in Philadelphia text, the gang joins a cult.
The gang going to the cult? Literally.
We had an Always Sunny thing last time too, and I've forgotten what it was.
Well, maybe you guys should go look at the church, not the church, the theater, and maybe we'll figure it all out and we won't even have to go. That could happen.
Maybe you can check out the theater and then you'll calm down.
It definitely could happen, yes. I will
on the
say...
table.
What?
It's on the table, you know.
I'm thinking because I do want to check out the theater. I want to check out the theater. Who wants to check out the amphitheater?
I'd love to
Because
check
those
out
are
the
the two
amphitheater.
places we can check.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think we have any more leads we can research. I think we pretty much have to go out now.
I will say, in terms of things that you have at home, you do have, because Vivian rolled so high, you do have the oldest number, like the newest number listed for the church, which was in the file that Vivian found. It's from 5 years ago,
Should
so
I
you don't know
call
if it's from, you don't know if it's correct or not, but you do still have their phone number.
What are we thinking, guys? Vivian's kind of getting into it. She's like, what are we thinking? Come on. What's the...
Vivian, do you want to call the cult?
Yes.
You
Oh my
also
God.
have. I'm so excited.
Vivian
New
dials the
apps.
number for the cult.
New application form. Do you have an old
Like-
phone? So yeah,
Like, is this the cult?
is this the cult?
Hi, we're here for the cult stuff. The only thing I have is this.
Is this better or
We're here for
worse?
the cult stuff.
Everyone trying to one-up each other with how old their phone is.
You hear a couple of rings and then like a very loud click as someone answers the phone, and it's an older gentleman who answers. And he's like, Adam speaking. To whom do I have the pleasure?
Mm.
Oh, hello. This is, and then Vivian is like, Patricia Sotherbell, and my great grandmother passed, and you know she was very near and dear to me, and I was wondering if you were a friend of hers. I found this number in one of her oldest journals, and all the information around it was a little unsettling, but things were getting very, very dark for her near the end. And she was telling me about Reverend Adams. I don't know, maybe is this one of her churches? Because we didn't live in the same city near the end. And she looks at everyone like,
He paused from
Wild ride.
No, I don't recall the name personally, but we did have a great many members who left or rejoined. Yes, I was for a great many years the leader of the Church of the Rising Star, but I've retired in my old age.
oh, retired. That's so sad. Is there a building? Did somebody maybe take up after you? Someone I can get in contact with? Because I didn't have a lot of information on her.
Of course. The new Reverend Father is Alistair, and I don't have a phone number for him or anything, but I do know that he holds open service at the Black Lily. We don't have enough money to keep a church of our own, I'm afraid. It's a very expensive business.
Oh, bless your heart. That's why we need those tax write-offs, you know, and all the
Yes.
other various amenities we provide. Well, I appreciate that. You said Alistair and at the Black Lily. I never heard of it. Well, at least at least I know a little something. I appreciate it. Father Adams, Reverend Adams, you said?
Reverend Father Adam.
Reverend Father Adams. Well, it's very kind of you. I guess I'll take my leave. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and my condolences on your loss.
Who? Oh, yes, yes, condolences. Bye.
Fucking fantastic.
Vivian, your investigative skills are a marvel to behold.
Sharper than ever, I know. It's been a while. I haven't been back here in what, how long since school started? Whatever. So y'all know, y'all remember, kinda, my skills, sorta. Let's
This
see.
being the
There's
first
a
time
new...
Maria has witnessed them, she's like in love.
And
Yes,
Vivian relays
fantastic.
the information and how there's a new father, but also this person said that they were father, but that they're not father, but Kiera just said they were father and all that.
It might be a status thing where once you become whatever the title is, you get to keep it even if you're not doing anything.
Right. It sounds like that. Like you just become the Pope or like Saint Peter or whatever.
Yeah.
Father.
Just inherit him.
I don't think you inherit being the Pope. I think there's a process.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Catholics.
I don't think the Pope is like a monarchy, like handed down thing. I think you have to like compete. I think you have to compete to be the Pope.
Oh, like the Hunger Games?
Yes. They just
like
put a
that.
bunch of old
Enough,
Catholic
there's a
men in a room
voting.
and they just wait for whichever one leaves the room first gets to be the Pope.
Right.
Whichever one manages to find his way out of the room first is the new Pope.
Oh, so it's like
Vivian's
an
like
escape
taking
room.
for her fan fiction. She's like,
Catholic escape room.
Seek
whoever
a way
wins gets to be
out.
the Pope.
Believe in
Okay,
the
well.
Lord, find your way out, become the new Pope. You pray to God for the clues.
So you wish to be a pope? Now answer me these riddles 3.
Literally. Bye.
So Pope, you wish to be, answer these my riddles 3.
Oh.
New episode title. Unrelated in any way, but new episode title.
I would watch that.
That's a killer premise for a game.
Writes that down.
For one
Vivian's
shot,
like-
you're all like cardinals or whatever, and only one of you gets to be the Pope.
Maybe we should go investigate the church now.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. So okay. Maria
I would say-
and Vivian at the amphitheater, and
I want to go to the amphitheater. No, I want to go to the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. We have
The Black
the
Lily.
Black Lily Theater and then the outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah.
which
I'd like to
can be
go
a
to the
little-
Black Lily Theater.
Okay. Should we all just go there first?
I think it's
I
reasonable.
think it would be. I think
Yeah.
it would be better if we did split up because tomorrow we already have the service. So
Yes.
True.
investigate everything today faster. That would be better.
Maria,
Yeah,
you don't
we'll
have
be
to
more
go to the service. I promise. As your boss, I am not going to make you go to a cult service.
Thank you.
And Vivian is like, we're going. Because
Get in, loser.
Get
We're
in,
going
losers.
to the cult. Get in,
Oh,
losers.
wait.
We're going to the cold.
Yeah, an important question, Ari. Can Vivian drive? We've split the
Yes,
party.
There-
into
yeah,
people
it's
who
very
can drive and who
important.
can't.
Yes. I saw the other day and I was like, why are all these gays incapable of driving?
Because we're gay.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness, that's
Okay,
gay.
Apia can drive. They just don't have a license.
No.
Same with
No.
Alina. She can
Still
drive.
Hive can't drive.
She just
Maria
shouldn't.
can
can also-
drive legally.
Vivian is a
Apia,
Heather. Vivian got her driver's license at like 16 and stunted in front of the school in her mom's car. Vivian
Wow,
is a Heather.
queen of productivity.
Hey,
Literally,
Apia
like-
can hotwire a car.
I got my license
Wait, that's-
when the cars were still a new thing.
Alina's older than time itself and has seen many cars.
Alina's been driving since before cars.
Alina grew up on
Right.
chariots.
Vivian grew up on chariots. So what is a car?
Back in my
Y'all
day,
that- y'all-
back in my day, horses or cars only had 1 to 2 horsepower.
Y'all don't even know what driving is. What are you?
Yeah, so then
What are you driving?
Vivian and Maria can decide who gets to drive the car. Are you
Because wait.
all
How
heading to
old
the
is
theater?
Maria?
She's like 22, 23.
Yeah. Vivian is like 24, 25. So Vivian is like, get in, bitch, we're going shopping. Like that's that.
I think Maria is very quickly falling into the minion role that is being assigned to her.
Very much like, come on, yeah, let's go. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
Where
Very
are
much
you
that.
two going?
We're gonna go to the amphitheater. Question.
Okay.
Amphitheater, apparently, is where I'm going.
We're gonna
y'all
walk
go to
to.
the
We're gonna
Texas
bus to
game.
the theater, I guess. Then.
And I'm gonna take
We can
Steel
call
Hive and
a taxi.
Apia.
Call an Uber.
Uber.
call
We're
us
hoarding
Uber.
all of the driver's
Uber.
licenses.
I feel safer knowing that Steel Hive and Apia are within my line of sight. I can avoid them from causing problems.
Like those baby harnesses,
Right.
those backpacks where you can grab the children.
I'm imagining
you
because
take
Apia's
care of
wearing like,
Maria, okay? Please.
Alina's like these are my idiot children. These are my idiot babies.
These are my
They
I'm
will
just
die.
imagining.
but they cause
I'm-
problems on purpose.
I'm imagining if somebody was tall enough to do this, just like because Apia wears like 17 layers, just picking them up by the scruff of all of their clothes and just picking them up off the ground, so they can't cause problems anymore.
Yes.
Like an angry cat.
Great.
Well,
Let's,
Alina is very powerful, so she can probably do that.
let's go.
Yeah. Let's
Let's
hit this.
let's roll.
All right, so we're splitting the party, and half of you are going to the amphitheater, and half to the theater-ish. Not quite exactly half, but
Yeah,
do you want to
there's
do
5 of us.
Yeah, can't really split it in half. Do you want to do the amphitheater
legally.
first? Because there will be less things to look at there.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. It's about a like half-hour drive by car to get to where you're going. And there's like a little parking lot outside of the amphitheater, and then a pathway that leads you to the amphitheater proper. It's got like a flat dirt stage, quote unquote, and then the like seating is raked, and they're just like logs that you can sit on. It looks like if you've ever been to a camp, like a summer camp where they do their like end of the summer camp thing, and that's what it's used for the most part. Like you can tell like there's like a billboard up with like different camp advertisements and stuff.
That's kind of sad. Okay. Vivian walks around, kind of like kicks on the logs, and is like does some like very very TV showish, like trying to sense the aura of the area.
Vroom.
And like literally nothing is happening.
She's trying really hard to I don't know, channel the aura of the zone, and the answer is not really.
Right.
You don't like. There's not like a distinct aura of something wrong. Like it's a pretty shaded area. Like the way the trees are grown around this area, it's not super light, even though it is like the middle of the day. And so like occasionally you walk into a shadow, and like it's a little bit weird, but nothing like pops out at you.
Mm.
How is like, this might be a weird question. What's the growth pattern of the trees like? Like if I look at the trees,
Yeah.
does it look like they were planted purposefully, or does it look like this is just a forest?
I actually had the same question. Can we roll thought to understand that?
Yeah, you can roll thought to like take a look at the trees and really know what's
Mm-hmm.
going on, and you can both roll independently, or one of you can roll with with a +1, whatever you prefer.
I'll roll something.
Yeah, I think we should roll independently because I'm also at 1 thought, so we're like the same. Come on, be smart today.
So that's
Did you say 5, Birdie?
it's a 5.
Okay, mark experience.
Yeah.
What did you
Maria's
get, Ari?
I got a 12. I'm being
Okay,
a bad bitch
fuck
today.
off.
I'm bad bitching today.
Hello. You're looking around, Maria, for like looking up in the trees, and you sort of are so entranced by the like trees and their growth that you're not looking at your feet, and you stumble and fall, and scrape your knees up a little bit.
Band-Aids.
You have Band-Aids, yeah.
It's time for the.
Yeah, I would say take 1 harm, but you're gonna receive the harm back while you put your Band-Aids on it, so it'll just
Yeah,
be
so I'm just gonna spend some time with my Band-Aids.
slap some Band-Aids on your knees.
Yeah, they are solar system themed.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Love.
And Vivian, with your, I don't know, elf eyes apparently, you take a few steps in, and what didn't look necessarily odd from the edge of the amphitheater, as you walk further into the like little wood around it, the trees are a little bit less uniform, like the way that trees normally grow, because it is kind of in a forested area. But the edges of the amphitheater, the trees are planted very close together, and their branches seem to overlap and make like a canopy almost.
Mm.
And they're planted a lot more perfectly, I guess is the best way.
And you said this is like very visibly associated with the camp, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we know what the camp is from looking at it? Can we tell?
It's like a city-run camp. Like it's like your like bog standard city community center camp.
Mm. Do you think it would be feasible for us to like triangulate what this camp is called, or based on where it is, like when we get home?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna like take mental note of everything so that I can do that when we get back. And I'm assuming I'm like a decent bit away from Maria right now, so I didn't see her.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah,
So,
you were probably at opposite ends of the clearing, looking in different ways.
So I'm gonna come back and be like explaining it while looking around, and then when I see her, be like, "Oh, that Band-Aid's bitching," and like, you know, all the way down, be like,
"Oh, thanks. I also have flowers, and I still have Spider-Man. Nobody wanted it last time for obvious reasons."
I used Spider-Man.
No, you used puppies. No, you used puppies.
Oh, true. Yeah, because Spider-Man was a little on the nose for the time.
Yeah.
And while she's squatted, Vivian pulls up her skirt, not like in an inappropriate way, enough to reveal that she has like a garter belt strap that has like a small kit with band-aids on it. It's like, mine are all boring, and they're all like normal colored ones and just like very basic stuff. He's like, can I have like, she's like rummaging through your band-aids like super space invadey. Like, can I have one of your I'll trade you like a puppy one for this green one.
You can have as many as you want.
Just like,
It's just like a handful of band-aids.
and we're just like, training for like 10 minutes. But I do convey the information about how it looks artificial in this area.
I mean, you could say it was probably just for the camp, but with the way that the church is always looking for darkness, I don't know.
It seems like a bit too much of a coincidence to me. I agree that it was probably for the camp, but in the same way that at the Black Lily Theater, there just so happened to be a story about a ghost, and it happened to involve extreme darkness, and all of this came together. I would say that the members of this cult probably look for locations that have either supernatural or unusual darkness.
Yeah,
Definitely something to mark down.
I'm trying to be professional about it, but this one's really getting to me.
This place is weird, for sure. And Vivian stands up and kind of like bumps Maria's knee with her super duper long platform heels. Like, but we'll be fine. Nothing's really happening out here. Kind of like not taking her fear as like fear, more like logical information. Like, nothing's really going on. I mean, we'll be good. And then she lifts up the other side of her skirt and is like, and I have a knife, so it's whatever. We'll be fine.
Really stab darkness.
You can
Yeah,
fucking
but
try.
darkness can't really stab us, so I can stab a person trying to stab us first.
I don't know. What the statement giver, what they said about like all they could hear was their own pulse.
Yeah.
It's just so loud sometimes. I don't know. I don't like it.
That can be unnerving. Hold on just a second. Time freeze.
Yes.
Can freeze time?
Vivian's extra powers.
That's
Vivian is broken.
Vivian's special ability.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me ask her something right quick.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm about to disclose it to you.
I'm excited. I've closed the tab that I shouldn't have closed. Let me see. I mean, you can just tell me I'm using like the first or the second move. So like you have two moves.
Okay.
Yeah. So just tell me like which one you're using.
I'm using the first move.
Okay.
On Maria.
Okay.
And I'm like looking right at her face and being very, very genuine, but like kind of like when your parent asks you, like, are you okay? Is that really what you're trying to say?
All right.
That and when I say that, I mean like that you're afraid of your own pulse. Like, does that carry anything with it?
Is it power you roll for that?
Oh, is it? Let me look. Hold on.
It's either power or thought, but I've forgotten.
It's power and thought, and then you pick the higher result. So I'm about to dominate. Hold on. Let me.
Okay.
Okay, that one was trash.
What'd you get?
14. 14. That's up. Tell me what's going on.
Jesus.
What's going on, babe? No, the first one was trash. So I got it out of the way. The first one was like 4. Oh, wait, no, I guess the first one would have been 5.
Still oof.
Still oof, yeah.
Yeah.
14.
14.
What's going on, babe?
Yeah, so you get asked this question, Maria, and like it feels perfectly normal for you to answer. Like that you have no inhibition about telling the complete and total truth to this question.
I mean, it's not really the pulse that's the issue. It's just everything. I mean, doesn't everybody just, you notice your body and suddenly you're just in it and it's always there and you can, that's normal, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Vivian kind of looks away and is less like aggressively paying attention. It's like, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. Huh.
I mean,
I guess I
like,
do kind of underestimate this stuff sometimes.
she's a little like, oh.
And then Vivian hooks her arm in Maria's arm and is like very prissy walking, like, all right, let's get out of here. This place is lame.
Okay. And she's like,
Vivian's walking like normal, did not try to lean down, do anything, and just like, yeah, just walking.
And then you guys get to have a very fun half-hour drive back. While we slide over to the folks who took a not Uber TM to the Black Lily.
A non-brand Lyft service.
An unbranded taxi service. To the Black
you
Lily.
can order on your phone.
Whose phone would we have used?
I
Did
know,
Lena dial Uber on her rotary?
I'm making a joke.
I guess Damien?
I'm just
They're not
having
going,
a goof.
but...
Sorry. Sorry, I'm having a goof.
Oh, you're fine. But yeah, the Black Lily, when you arrive, it's a renovated 1920s theater, and it's kept its Art Deco aesthetic. So like the outside there's a big Art Deco marquee, and it's kept its facade and things. It's updated, but it is still the original like architecture from the 20s.
Cool.
That's neat. That's why Alina wanted to go.
Pretty. But yeah, the like lobby area of the theater is open. There's not like a show happening right now, but you could go in and like pre-purchase tickets for the show that's currently happening. So the lobby area is open, but the auditorium is closed.
Okay.
Is it closed, or is it just like the door is closed?
They don't want us
it's not
back
locked.
The door is closed. There are people in the lobby that could see you, but you could try and open it if you wanted to.
So
it's not like we can't make a distraction. Like we are.
Okay, I want to use the third move on my sheet.
Yep. Really fast. Yep. Perfect.
I'd like to disguise my voice and basically tell them that I would actually do this. Okay. Hi, these are my associates. We recently got a call that there's something wrong with one of the lights near the stage in the aisleway, and we're here to inspect that and make sure that everything's up to code so that nobody gets hurt during the next show. If we could just poke around back there, we'll have it done in no time.
That's the power roll, yeah? Were you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll power.
I swear to God, if you let me down, I'm locking it back in the box. Another 9.
Hey. So that's an imperfect success. So I will let you choose your consequence.
Mm-hmm.
It either doesn't succeed perfectly, or it succeeds, but sort of everyone around you is aware that something has gone wrong, essentially. Like not the like they won't know that you're lying or anything, but they will be left feeling odd.
I'll leave them feeling odd. What's it to me? No, I'm joking around, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the person at the front desk sort of like blinks in surprise because she wasn't aware that someone was coming to fix something today. But she looks up and she like thinks for a moment and says, "Oh, of course. Let me get the door for you." And like you can tell that she is like a little visibly uncomfortable, but she believes you, and so she will go and she grabs a set of keys and unlocks the door and says, "I'm going to leave this open in case you need anything." And
all right, thank you.
Let me know.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
And then I immediately, after doing this, like, because I was like smiling and interacting with her, and then immediately my face just goes completely blank and I look extremely tired as soon as it's just the three of us again.
PbtA, that was very impressive. I didn't know you could be so functional.
I like just sort of look at you like this. I like blink and then turn to you and open my eyes as I look at you. I just, thanks.
Now you are in the main body of the theater. Sorry, one second. I'm going to send an image really fast into the Discord. You're in the theater, and it is sort of a standard theater layout. So the stage is at the front, and the theater itself is mildly raked with a ramp. And so you start at the top and walk your way down a slight incline to reach the stage proper rather. There are two doors that lead to two pathways, and there are seats in between those. So there's like a left seating, a middle seating, and a far right seating. And I will grab you a map really quickly. But you can enter the room while I grab that.
Nice.
I think I will be going at the back. I want to see the plaque.
Okay. Also, the like work lights are on. So from a theatrical perspective, that means that there's no like big bright spotlights on the stage, but there is enough light to like work by. So like every other light is on essentially.
Cool. I want to just peer over into the orchestra pit.
Okay. It's a pretty fancy pit. It's like a real pit, so it's beneath the stage, and it has an option to be covered, but it's currently not. And the instruments aren't down there, but all of the chairs are set up in arched rows with the conductor's podium in front of it.
Cool. Very neat.
Are you going up to the to backstage, Alina?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll follow.
There are a couple of like stage hands who like give you a look but don't ask anything because they're like working on their respective errands and like running back and forth. You can see like essentially they're in the process of setting up for whatever they're showing tonight. And you can get to the back, and there's like a hallway between the green room and the stage, and on the wall there is a plaque with a the picture from his service, and then a little gold plaque and blurb about him.
Do I sense anything nearby?
Not particularly. It's a pretty. There's not nothing terribly exciting happening, I will say.
I was trying to see if there was some sort of residual energy or something like that that could maybe from the cult activity.
Not necessarily energy, but if any of you would like to roll thought to sort of take a deeper look around the place.
I would
I
like
think
to.
I would.
I'd like to as
Yeah.
well.
Of course, you can all do that. You're all in different areas as well, so if you get
Yeah.
good results, I can give you different information.
Cool.
Roll the 6.
Mark
That's a
experience.
failure, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a failure. Mark experience.
Yeah, I failed. Nice.
Woohoo!
Sick.
I like apocalypse systems because they reward you for failing. You learn from your mistakes in powered by the apocalypse systems. What did the two of you get? And then I'll go in order.
Well, speaking of failing, I got a 5.
Woo! All right.
I got a 13.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
APSCs
I'm
all.
feeling. I'm
Someone had to
feeling.
succeed.
I am looking.
Yep. So you are in the hallway where the plaque is, right? So you look around and you're like trying to figure things out, and you open a door that you don't bother to read or don't care to read the label on, and you open the door into a dressing room where someone is doing their hair and makeup, and they turn and they look at you and like, "What are you doing in here? Who are you?"
Who are you
Alina.
talking to?
Alina,
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I did not preface.
Okay,
Alina.
cool.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of what to say.
They're wearing clothes. They're just doing their hair and makeup, and they're very confused about the old lady who just walked into the dressing room.
Alina sort of looks around the room, looks at them like directly, and closes the door.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Still Hive, where are you like looking around?
So, question from the
Mhm.
person from the statement.
Yes.
Was that the green room was the room that they were set up in?
They were in the tech booth. So the tech booth is behind the seats. So like from where you entered the theater, essentially you would take a direct right and enter that door, but that door would probably be locked.
Okay. Well, I will say Stilltime does not know how theaters work. So
Fair
they're
enough.
operating under the assumption that it's probably in the back somewhere dark and weird. So they're just gonna start walking.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time sort of walking in between the rows of seats in the far back and don't notice the booth behind you with its big black window. It doesn't cross your mind in any way. And while you're doing that, you sort of like trip and stumble and fall and like gonk your nose on the like hard floor of the theater. And you pull away and your nose is a little bit bloody
Gonked.
and you've taken one harm.
God damn, you got gonked.
Gonked.
We have all the
Got
medical
gonked.
equipment.
I've made up a new word. Meanwhile, Apia, are you like you're looking at the pit, but you're also just kind of looking around, yeah? Because you rolled a 13, so I'm assuming you can see God at this
Yeah.
point.
I'm kind of just like in the main body of the theater around I keep wanting to call them pews, the rows of like seats and stuff, and kind of just looking around.
Yeah. Well, it was something you noticed from a start when you looked into the pit, and then you notice even more as you look around. Like, there are usually a fair number of shadows in a theater because that's the whole point of wings and like the curtains is to create depth where there isn't.
Yeah.
But the shadows here are like particularly long and deep, and like the light that should sort of break into them doesn't in the same way. Like it diffuses extremely quickly, and if you like put something in front of a light, it blocks it out way more than it should. And you like are immediately aware that like even if you haven't been in a theater before necessarily, this space is much darker and the few lights that are on are not producing the same light that they should be.
All right. Interesting. Huh. Well, that's odd. That's not right.
Yeah.
My brain keeps telling me to to just look around for like, this is kind of a joke, but like find well, no, I'm actually going to do this. Trying to think of how to phrase this. Is it like generally just like there's dark shadows everywhere, or is it concentrated around a certain area?
The darkest place is the stage and the pit beneath it. But in general, the whole place is darker than usual. But the darkest place seems to be the stage and the pit beneath it, which is probably what
I'd like
drew
to go
your
into the
attention.
pit.
Yep.
I would like to go in the pit.
Are you gonna hop down, or are you gonna take the like designated correct stairwell?
How deep is the pit?
About 8 to 10 feet. Like if
Okay,
you land
I'll
on a
jump.
chair, 8 feet. If you land on the floor, 10 feet.
Yeah, I mean, my arms are long enough that I could probably
Just
just
drop
hang
yourself
from
down.
the
Yeah.
top,
Huh?
and I'd only fall like 2 feet.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm literally like 6'4", so.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are
you can
fucking
just-
Yeah,
tall
that's actually
people.
true. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's not even a problem for you. I
big,
forgot
tall.
about that. Yeah, so you
big,
can just
tall.
bonk
I didn't
down
even think
into the
about that.
pit.
You just deep squat when you land so you don't hurt yourself, and you're literally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can easily bonk down into the pit, and you get down here, and it's quite dark. This is a normal game without night vision, so no one has dark vision. And it's it's quite dark down here, and like all of the furniture is black and everything is painted black, which is normal. It's to keep the lights out of the room while the orchestra is playing, so you don't see them on stage. But like it seems to be like compoundedly black down here to the point where like it's very hard to see, and like you keep thinking you see shadows in the corners of your vision, but you can't quite catch them.
Okay, I want to preface this by saying I'm not going to set anything on fire. I'd just like to take out my lighter and see if how the light
PbtA commits
acts down
arson.
here.
2.
You're not intending to set anything on fire.
No, I'm trying to not set things on fire in this
Right.
case. It's the only light source I have, okay?
It does not mean that you're not going to.
Yeah, you can take out your lighter.
All right.
And flick it on. Hold on to it.
Yeah, I'm holding on to it.
Yeah, I mean the area right around your lighter lights up, and you do get some like spread, but not nearly as much as you expect there to be.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'd like to walk from the side of the pit that I came in all the way to the back, and then like just see how that feels, because I know we've been dealing with like space wonk before. So
Yeah. You walk and
walk the length of the pit.
The further in you get to the pit, so like the further closer to like where the middle of the stage would be, the darker it gets and the like less your lighter seems to work, until by the time you're at the back wall, it sputters and flickers out.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna turn around and walk back to the edge. Go back, get out of here, I guess.
Would you like to tread carefully for me? You can't see. So
yes,
roll with agile.
I will tread carefully. Uh, 10.
Okay, you make it. No problems. You remember where the chairs are, and you gently move them out of your way on the way out.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna stand on a chair and climb out of here.
Clamber on out. Again, you're like essentially tall enough to get out of the pit without much difficulty, so I'm gonna let you just clamber your way out. It may not be the most graceful exit, but it's an exit.
Yeah, truth coming out of their well to shame mankind. PbtA clambering out of the orchestra pit. Yeah, so well, that was weird. I'm gonna try to find the rest of you fools and figure out what the hell, tell y'all what's going on in the pit. The phrase, like calling it the pit, is really funny, specifically to me, because at one of the high schools in my town, they had a divot in the field where all the kids would go to do drugs, and it was called the pit. So it makes me think of that.
Fair enough.
Fond
and
memories.
I'm like, And occasionally a police officer would just come and scatter them like pigeons, and then they'd all eventually just go back there within like 10 minutes. It's kind of funny.
But yeah, you can all sort of congregate back in the main chamber of the theater. Although, Alina, you will know that presumably someone is going to come and ask you why you were in the dressing room pretty soon if you don't leave or make an excuse, but you can all
We need to get
congregate
out of
in the middle.
here.
I'm old. They just let, like an old lady, they will let me do anything. As long as I don't kill anyone here in their sight, what are they gonna do?
Politely ask
I'm
people who walk in the
old
dressing
and
rooms to
white.
leave.
This is my grandmother. Her memory's going a little bit. I apologize. We'll leave immediately.
They're not going to call the cops or anything, but they will be
They are
wary
gonna
of you.
ask us to exit the premises. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you guys most of what I saw while recording it into my tape recorder. Or rather, what I didn't see, because it was very dark.
Dark.
So you went into the pit, and at some point your lighter stopped working.
Right about the point where I got to the middle of the stage, it got very, very dark, and by the time I got to the back of the pit, it had gone out, which there wasn't any air, so it doesn't really make sense why it would go out. Well, there wasn't any moving air anyway.
Very well.
I also have a feeling that we're going to need to get out of here fairly soon.
Probably. Someone did
Would
see me
agree.
snooping around.
Then we should leave very quickly.
Yeah, let's go.
On your way out, the person at the front desk checked in's like, did you fix whatever was wrong? Thank you for coming.
Yes, there are no more lights.
I turn and look at her, and I just I say kind of under my breath, like, we weren't here, and she doesn't recognize me.
Yep.
And we just leave.
She blinks confusedly and like looks down at her computer, and by the time she looks back up, you are all no longer in the building.
Mm-hmm.
I am no longer here.
And we're going to use this to take our brief break. So we're going to take 10 minutes, grab some water, grab a snack, take whatever you need, and we will be back at 10 past.
All right.
Cool.
Woo!
I'll be right back.
and welcome back to Haven of Horrors. Before I get started, I want to remind everyone that today's statement has to deal with darkness, sensory deprivation, and religious imagery and cult practices. So if any of those things are a little too much for you, feel free to step back and take this one off, so to speak. And I will say that those are probably going to come back into play a little bit more heavily, not as heavy as the statement, but a little bit more as we move into this part of the episode, as we're going to be experiencing this cult practice as we go on. So when we last left our investigators, they were all returning from either the theater or the amphitheater. So I will let you all sort of re-congregate at the Ravenwood Institute, and you can share all the information that you learned.
Fine.
Cool. I think I probably would have been doing some like talking to myself while I was while I was in the orchestra pit. So I'm kind of just going to play back my statement that I made on my recording because I feel like that's more accurate to how things were. Just kind of talking about like, you know, got my lighter on, sure isn't working.
Mood.
We noticed
Yeah.
at the amphitheater, the trees were planted more densely than we thought really made sense. So it was pretty dark there too. Nothing like that though.
It wasn't supernatural. If we had been paying any modicum of attention, we would have tested our phones or something there, but
Yeah, but we didn't.
it was kind of like fully uneventful. We were kind of just like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we left because it was boring. But yeah, it definitely seems like if the cult is like picking specific places, then they're picking places that have either supernatural or like coincidental affiliations with darkness. You know, it would be pretty crazy if they went and planted those trees in a circle. But they definitely did find a conspicuously dark place out in the open. Like, who does that and is also a cult at the same time? What are the chances? So, something about darkness or whatever, or something. So when are we going to the cult meeting?
Well, it's are you all going or
That's a good
are
question.
we going?
Well, I think I think we do not have enough evidence to conclusively call this a supernatural situation.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I think that's
a
fair.
weird, creepy darkness cult that meets at weird, creepy, dark places.
Yeah. I mean, okay, wait, let's put this on the table. Can we confirm that it was, because based on APA's recording, there were like unnatural physical shadows, like light distribution was unusual, like, and I'm not going to say that automatically makes it supernatural, but when affiliated with a cult, and in the context of Kiara's statement, I don't really feel like it's too much of a stretch to say that there is at least some form of supernatural connection here. I mean, at the very least, this cult values supernatural darkness.
Right.
You know?
No, I agree with you at least to the extent that this group definitely is looking to engage in some mystical activities.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I have what's up?
How was the sound in the theater?
I don't know, Rue, how was the sound of the theater?
Good question.
Like quiet to your senses. Your voice sounds normal on the recording because you're close to the tape recorder, but if you had been sort of listening for an echo or whatever, there was no like echo or like,
Okay.
and like the sound seemed to fade out quicker than you would expect, maybe.
Okay, so kind of like
I have a
being
question.
in
Was
like a
that-
sound dampening room.
Was that within the pit or all over the theater?
It was within the pit. The two of you rolled so poorly that you wouldn't have noticed. But yeah, for wherever APO was talking to the recorder, it's particularly muffled in the pit, but there's always a little bit of sound dampening.
Okay, neat.
Since I was looking when I was there,
Looking.
did I? I am looking. Did I notice?
I'm looking
any,
directly at it.
Any like sound deadeningness, even though we were outside? Because I feel like that would be something kind of easy to like detect.
Sort of in the notion of like you didn't hear birds like you would expect to. You didn't. Like maybe it didn't occur to you while you were there, but thinking back on it, like you're like, oh yeah, we were in the forest. Shouldn't I have heard birds?
And I'll recount that on account of Maria saying, "Did you hear anything?" You know, being reminded of that. Okay,
We still don't know if this group is dangerous in any way. So other than confirming that their activities are real,
right? We still
I don't see I don't see the harm in just going to one meeting.
Yeah, definitely. Should we all go together? Do you want to go in groups?
I think so.
I feel like together is fine.
Safety in numbers.
Yes.
And then Vivian turns to Maria and is like, "Wouldn't that be fun
more
if we
than
all
one.
together?"
What? What did you say,
Vivian turns to Maria and looks like, it's at the very least one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I said at the very least more than one of us should go. I think only one person would be in danger.
Maybe we should split up while we're there.
Right, that was what I was going to say. We should go in separate groups.
Yeah.
So it doesn't call too much attention.
That sounds like a good idea. So wait, do you think we should go in like groups of one group who looks very likely to be in a cult and one group that doesn't? So one group can like take the fall if someone were to get outed? Or should we like try to balance out the cultiness in each group?
We just have to look like we're interested, don't we?
I don't know.
It's an open thing.
It is open, but we only found out because of something creepy happening, and not everyone really wants to join all the time. We'll probably be fine.
Probably.
Maria, do you want to stay back?
You can stay behind. You don't have to go.
I don't want to be the only one that doesn't go.
I mean, Damien.
And Vivian ropes her arm. Is like, no, she's coming with us. It'll be fun and not scary or crazy. Well, it might be crazy, but it won't be scary. I mean,
how about this, Maria? If it makes you feel safer, you can come and stay in the car.
Like a getaway driver.
I guess I'm going.
You don't have to go.
Yeah, we're not forcing you. We're just the weirdos who want to go.
I'm not going to say that I want to go, but I think the decision has been made for me. And she kind of looks at Vivian.
I would support you not going if you don't want to.
Stillhive is gonna reach into their coat and take out like a little jar of honey, crazily enough. And then they're gonna
It's been a while, yeah.
Call back. And they're gonna slowly push it across the table to Maria and be like, for emergencies.
Are you telling me I'm gonna die?
No. Emergencies.
Vivian's like, yeah, like what is it? Some surprise toast or something.
Or death.
Yeah, that one. That's good too.
It doesn't
Yeah.
help.
Oh, it's very sweet, very tasty. Very
He's
helpful.
like, I'll wait in the car with you, and we can can you do magic or whatever? Well, whatever. We'll do magic and keep ourselves safe, probably.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Anyway.
We're gonna do magic in the car. It's fine. All right. So you're going together, but you're entering in groups. Is that what you're?
No, I think we're entering separately as to not arise that much suspicion.
Mhm.
Like individually, one by one.
I
Like
think so.
personally, I'm either going alone or with only one other person as a sort of.
Okay. Just tell me who's going with who so that I know how to keep track.
To be fair, how many of us have cell phones?
I can't use a cell phone.
Okay.
I don't have a cell phone either.
Okay.
Damien has one.
Damien, are you going?
Ideally, no, but if I have to, I will.
You don't have to. I mean, we do need someone to record the event if all of us
Yeah,
die.
I suppose if all of you die, I should be ready to. It's never happened, Maria. Sorry, we talk a little morbidly here, but it's never happened that everyone has died on a single occasion.
It's never happened
Or multiple
in your watch
occasions.
yet.
Fair enough.
You are not good at instilling confidence. I just want you to know that.
Well, that's why I'm not the.
It wasn't in my job description.
Would you like to be lied to? I can lie to you.
Sure.
Everything's going to be fine.
Thank you.
In considering that Maria and I are the only ones with phones, and I'm really good at communicating with people, I think that we should be on, unfortunately, separate teams because
I want to go with Alina.
We need to coordinate. So if Alina's going in, oop, I think you cut out.
Ro, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Ro.
Hello?
Nope.
Oh, hi.
You're not muted, but the mic doesn't seem to be working. Oh.
Hi. Yeah, that works great.
Not the Roastlander on the TL.
All right.
Technical difficulties.
Not the Roastlander on my timeline.
Oh no. Ro has.
Sorry,
Not the Roastlander on the timeline.
I think Ro got dropped off of the Zoom call.
No!
I don't know what happened.
I'm sorry, I got a phone call from Pier 1 Imports.
Ooh, my mom loves that.
Oh.
Also, what the heck happened to the stream?
When someone leaves, it messes up OBS.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Welcome
Congratulations,
back,
Ryan.
You're
Can
now
you hear me?
We can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
Okay,
now I'm
sorry,
Ari.
Noah.
Okay, so now I'm Ari.
Yeah.
Ro, you're now me, and Ryan, you are Ro. Never mind, it's fixed.
Aw, boo.
That was just really funny for a minute.
Sorry. I thought I could fix it and it just crashed everything.
Nope.
That was really funny for a second. Haven of Horrors Identity Theft Edition.
Stranger's True Agenda.
But yeah, so Maria, you said you wanted to go with Alina, yes?
Yes, I want to go to Alina. With
Alina doesn't have this expression, it's me.
I trust you not to get me killed.
That's a big ask.
Try.
That's a big ask.
I don't trust APR still. That's not in character.
So then Still Hive
I guess
and
that means-
Apia will
yeah.
go with Vivian then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like
And
to go.
then-
I'll go solo.
Oh,
I can go.
Actually, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I can
think that's
I
actually
can
a
go
good idea.
stag.
I mean, API going solo means that they will have the best chances of causing a fire.
Hey,
That-
I only
okay.
cause a fire when I need to, and I probably won't need to.
That would be a pretty
Cult
good
meeting. You think this is not going to end in fire? You're kidding yourself. I wish I
It'll be
had
fine.
taken pictures of the theater
mm.
before it's too late.
Why do you automatically think I'm going to burn down the theater? Why do you automatically assume I'm going to burn down the theater? This is in the middle of the city. This isn't like the suburbs.
Before we go,
Still Hive and I will stay in view of Apia to make sure that they're safe, because Apia still doesn't have a phone, because apparently, and looks at Maria, nobody in here knows how to exist in the 2000s, but you know, whatever. Be all right.
I say in a very deadpan voice, the last time I tried to use a cell phone, it started to smoke and melt a little bit. So I haven't
And
really
then-
used one
and Vivian-
since.
What did
And
you
Vivian
do to
puts her phone
that?
in her other hand. Freaking
I was
away
it was
from
in
the
my
field.
pocket.
before we go, I want to check.
Mm-hmm.
Did the spider from last time, the one we had captured?
Oh yes, I forgot you had the spider captive.
Did
If
it
no
die?
one has killed it, it's still alive.
Cool.
It's just living in a jar
Mascot.
in Damien's desk drawer.
New mascot, new pet.
Oh my gosh. We have like cool memorabilia from stuff.
Mm-hmm. In the artifact
Memorabilia
storage
is
room.
alive. This memorabilia is alive.
I wouldn't call it memorabilia. I would call it a prisoner.
Captive.
That's so adorable. Okay,
Yeah.
wait,
Anyway,
the thing is
Let's
tomorrow.
go. Let's go.
right?
You know, just
It's tomorrow. I'll let you time skip.
hang
Okay.
out with
Well, I
the
was
cult.
thinking, outside of the time skip, can we take collective efforts and like mega research to see if there's anything like with the internet, to see if there's any other stories or information about this church? Like, because I'm sure that there's gonna be blogs or something. Like, and if we spend like an hour, all of us together, can we do that?
Yeah, I will let what I'll let you do is I'll give you two choices. You can all roll and I'll do an over under sort of thing, or one of you can roll and get +2 to that roll instead of +1. On top
Who's
of
the
your
smartest?
normal thing.
Wink, wink.
Are we using thought?
Thought, unless you are Ari, in which case you could use power.
Okay.
Because I have a
Smart.
+2 to thought.
I think we're all pretty
Can
smart. This is like a
I think
very
we are all pretty smart. Can we, like,
mind-focused group.
Split up and like one person support me and two people support Apia, and like so we can like kind of both use our strengths. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
If only there was a person who wanted to support Vivian. Hmm.
My
so
time.
to make it work, either everyone can support one person and that person gets a bonus of 2, or you can
Yeah.
all roll individually and I will add your scores up together and compare it against
I
an
think the all roll individually is better because that
Yeah.
means more of us
Because
can
we're all
fail,
smart.
which means we get experience.
That's
All
true
right.
too, actually.
Oh my gosh, why did my dice stick together for a second? You guys are going in the box.
Sticky dice.
Get in the box.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
I
rolling.
almost closed webcam.
Okay.
Look at me.
9.
Okay.
12.
Nice.
11.
Nice.
Wait, you got a 12 too? I got a 12.
Oh,
Look at us.
Wow,
wow.
we're so good.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
13.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Using your collective strength and like a LAN party of research. But I guess AP is reading a book.
Is it
Romans
working
Avia,
now?
like for the first time in their life, like manages to vibe with a computer and like Googles something.
It takes you. It's sort of like a weird, like, I'm not gonna call it the dark web because that's not real. But like a third or fourth page of Google dark web.
Right.
Or like you're going through like conspiracy threads on Reddit and things like that. And you don't necessarily find things with the church of the same name, but enough Googling of like church and darkness and like terms like that gets you a collection of branches of what appear to be the same kind of worship across like the whole country. Where it's just these very strange churches that meet up only at night, in dark places, and like more than once you come across stories of like people converting to this church and then like leaving and never coming back, or like odd occurrences where like people seem to go missing in the areas where these branches of the church pop up.
Okay. This is a thing, y'all. This is like serious. So maybe we should bring some forms of, I guess, I don't really want to say defense, but like psychological, not even psychological, but like physiological defense against being suppressed in some way. Maybe like headphones, or because the way Kiara described it was almost like EMP, but for your brain, that she was hearing, because she could hear the podcast just fine. So maybe we should do like earmuffs. I don't know. It sounds silly enough, but like something that could really help us potentially. And
oh God, the cult. They can't hear it. They've got AirPods in.
But they
like,
make
silly enough,
but they make the technology stop working. So would
They
that
do.
really even help?
Yes, but a tape recorder still worked.
a tape recorder worked, but
A cassette, like
a light, maybe a
wasn't
certain
it's a
kind of light.
Walkman,
Like a
something
Walkman.
like that. But a
Yeah.
Walkman is for
You can
CDs.
also just put on noise canceling
Right.
headphones with nothing playing.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what I mean. That's what I meant for the headphones. But I mean for flashlights or something.
Isn't that what the thing was the sound that
No,
happens
right.
when
actually, here's some little science. That was not the same thing. Noise canceling headphones and headphones that like play music that cancel noise. Noise canceling headphones that play music actually play a tone that becomes your new, like, no sound is happening. You know how like we kind of like standardize when nothing is happening. We say it is quiet even though the lights are humming and air is moving and stuff is happening outside. Our brains say this is silence now. That's what certain headphones do. They actually emit a tone that you can't register to become your new normal tone, so that your brain says it is quiet except for this music. But noise canceling headphones actually create a sound box, like a sound booth around your ears and cut
I've
out
actually
all
used
noises.
noise canceling AirPods before. It's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are like the scary combination of those two principles.
It's like, oh my
That's
God.
interesting.
They emit a frequency that literally cancels sound as opposed to creating a new like background noise.
Exactly.
The true noise canceling ones create this weird sort of anti-frequency that breaks up the Doppler waves of sound.
It was terrifying. My mom was
Right.
like talking to me and I like heard just absolute silence. It was the scariest thing.
But we're just gonna wear glorified earmuffs. None of that.
Mhm.
None of that. Because, like you said,
All right.
technology
Sure.
wouldn't work, so anything else wouldn't be really helpful.
All
I'm fine with
right.
that. Well, do we have that? Does the institute have the budget?
You can go
for
get
that?
it. I have money. You can go get it.
It occurs to me. Still has been sort of like, since we've been talking about earphones, I've been kind of like really thinking hard about it. It occurs to me. If their plan is to make us not hear things, and then we have things that make us not hear things, aren't we playing into their little plan?
That's what I was saying.
That's
It's
what.
possible,
So we should
but
just scream.
their sensory deprivation is different than actual sensory deprivation. Like they're doing stuff. to
It's like a
you.
tape that they're playing.
Let's
versus-
do
Yeah.
this. Let's do this. Some of us
We'll have a
go
control group.
right.
Yeah.
Some of us go with nothing, and some of you go with the thing.
Okay,
go with
I won't wear
nothing.
anything. I'll tell you if I'm not hearing anything. And you'll wear the
I'll
noise
also
canceling
go.
headphones.
I'll do the same. That's still high. I won't wear anything. I'm fine.
And
Okay,
I'll
then
wear
I
the
guess I
headphones.
will. Then I guess I will wear something. I don't know.
Well,
APA
I
wearing
guess
headphones is like putting socks on a cat, and they do not like it, but they will do it in the name of science.
APA will have to play it safe and take them off every once in a while to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have
I
something.
think we're ready.
Okay. I'll go buy the stuff. Time skip.
Time skip. All right, so you know that the doors open at like 7:30, but the actual service doesn't start till 8:30. So what time would you like to arrive?
7:45. Right in the middle.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair actually. Because we're like early, but we want to snoop, but we're early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll arrive a little earlier with Maria, if that's okay
Okay.
with you.
Yeah, we should probably stagger when we arrive.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be there like 7:20.
Okay.
I want to be completely unrecognizable during this whole thing. If anybody sees me once, they won't recognize me again.
Perfect. Yeah. For the most part, I will say that will work.
Okay.
There are a couple of people who that might not work on.
Yeah, I'm just like putting that out there for the most.
For the most part,
I'm actively thinking about that.
You are actively putting forth the aura of "you do not see me."
Looking away in the other direction. Also, we really are getting rated
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello.
in the Twitch comments.
We got rated.
Oh, hello. Thank you.
Hello. Welcome to the zone. Welcome to the spooky zone.
Welcome to the cult
Yo.
zone.
You all arrived just in time for watching the
Cults, cults,
thing.
cults, cults, cults.
In the words of the McElroy brothers, we're here for the cult stuff.
All right.
Yep.
All right,
So,
let's do this.
as you arrive in your like staggered groups, you notice, of course, that all of the lights are off. Even the like marquee lights of the theater aren't on. Like usually when there's like an actual show, the theater has lights on outside to tell you that it's happening. The door is open, but there are no lights on inside the building in any way. And like out in the lobby, there's like a gentle glow for safety. Again, there are those lights that are lit for just safety purposes, but aside from that, there are no other lights on. And as you enter in your groups, however you are entering, because you're all new, a young man, probably in his late 20s, early 30s, fair skin and wearing glasses so dark you can't see through them in any way. But you can see that you can't see very many details again because it's dark in here, but you can see that he's fair skinned in a dark uniform, walks up to you and says, "It's so exciting to see new faces. Please enter and take a seat wherever you like. I promise the view is just the same from every seat in the house."
Thanks.
And the doors are open, so you can go and sit wherever you please.
This was Alistair, right?
Alistair, yes. Reverend Father Alistair.
Very normal name title combination.
Absolutely normal. There is nothing strange here.
I just realized this, and I probably should have said this when we were all together, but I'm gonna retcon that I said this when we were all together. But I have smelling salts, and that's a sense. So like undeprivating yourself of senses with that would probably help. So like I'm gonna suggest that we distribute that amongst ourselves, and we all try to have some in case something happens, so we can wake other people up ourselves. Should something happen, I don't really think it's going to become relevant because if we get got, then we're got. But you know, just to put that on the table. And I guess it doesn't matter where we sit, so we'll just go sit wherever. I mean,
yeah, you can sit wherever. Again, it's very dark in here, so like your eyes adjust slowly, but you never really see anyone's faces clearly. Everyone in the audience, there seems to be about 15 to 20 people. They're moving around, so you can't quite like sit and like individually count them. They're all wearing all dark clothing, and when they talk very quietly. So if you wanted to hear what they were talking about, you'd have to essentially be right next to them.
Do you think we could sneak around? There's not really anything to sneak for. Can't even see anything.
I have a question. Where is the Reverend Father going to be during this?
He will be on the stage. Right now, he's still greeting everyone as they enter. But once the show starts, yes, he will be on the stage.
I will sit near the front of the stage. Then.
I will sit next to Alina. Also, Maria is trying to pretend she's not terrified of the cult because that seems like it would be suspicious. But she is a bad actress. And also, by this point, her hands are more Band-Aid than skin.
Yeah, I will say Alina probably sitting next to Maria. You like get a weird sort of itchy sensation. Like it's not super strong, but like you can tell that Maria is uncomfortable, and like you catch yourself sort of like fiddling with your fingers for a second, and then you stop. But yeah, there's a weird sort of like slightly itchy sensation.
Alina will rest a hand on Maria's arm. It's not particularly calming, but she's trying.
She's making an effort.
And Alina will say, thinking that this is this is Alina's way of trying to calm Maria. She says, don't worry, this isn't my first rodeo, as they say here in America. I've seen way scarier things than these clowns.
Something that the statement giver said, it got to me a little.
I understand.
Before 8:30, is anyone going to try and look at anything or do anything?
I would just like to say that Vivian and Stillhive are shaking the house down boots. We are at home. This is our environment. We're just sitting there being creepy with our legs crossed and killing it. Very cult chic, very avant-garde. Where would we sit? Because we should have talked about that, but where are we? Because we didn't see where anyone else went.
Yeah, you can't really see each other.
Mm-hmm.
The cool seats.
Yeah, we'll be the cool kids. We'll be like the middle front, like the middle, like it depends on how many there are, but you know how the cool kids like sit in the middle, like either near the front or near the back, but like they're not in completely in one of those places.
Where
That's
no
what we
one
got.
looks at you because like you're like too cool to be noticed. Yeah.
Literally. And then they like look over other kids' shoulders and like talk bad about them. Like from the middle, like that.
And then where is Apia sitting, Kestrel?
Back right.
Fair.
We have a good distribution.
Yeah. So yep.
I'm
Time passes.
relatively. I'm trying to be relatively close to the exit without being suspicious.
Yeah, you can sit in an aisle seat that's kind of close to the exit, but not like right
Cool.
next to it.
Yeah, I just want to be able to get the fuck out of Dodge if things go absolutely sideways.
Yeah. So
Man, I should have stayed with Apia.
everyone sort of filters in and takes a little while, and there's some chatting. Like what little snippets you can get are like just like hellos, and then people quiet down and sit in their seats. And at
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Right before we start, I'm sorry. First,
Yes.
Can I check my phone to see if it works still?
You can
If
check.
it's,
Yes,
like,
you can check your phone. It
Okay.
turns on. The screen is whatever brightness you set it to before you left. If it's bright, like if it's on a high brightness, like the people who are near you like look around and look sort of affronted by it. But it does work.
I have the presence of mind to make it at least a little bit lower. And I kind of like gesture to still hide, like, okay, my electronics are working. And then I'm gonna text Maria and be like, where are you guys? Just to try to get a sense of where they're sitting. Like maybe like snap or clap or make some sort of distinct sound so I can tell the general direction.
Yeah, Maria's gonna text back front and center for some goddamn reason and a very distressed emoji.
Okay. So I'll point to still hide, be like, they're basically right in front of us. So something pops off. And could I use my second move right now, Rue? Is it not,
Let me
can it not go like that?
let me check something really fast because I need to.
You know what would be
Like, based
great to
on-
have? A flashbang.
Woo!
Forgive me if I'm wrong. Does it say you have to like look at them or touch them or anything, or no?
I don't think so, which is why I'm like, wait a minute. Let me see. Let me look at it again.
Because if it doesn't, then you are in a close enough space to, yes.
It doesn't say it, no.
Okay, then yeah, you are perfectly
Okay.
welcome to use it.
Okay. I'm not going to, just to make sure that I could,
Okay,
because I might have to.
yep. But yeah, so the sort of time is like it hits to about 8:28, 8:29, and you hear the like theater doors are pretty quiet when they close by design, so you hear the little click of the doors on either side being closed, and the Reverend Father walks up the middle of an aisle. So Apia, you probably like are aware of him because he walks essentially directly past you. But everyone else, you see the same sort of outline that is not very clear, but is there. And he climbs up to the stage and stands in the center. And again, you really can't see him, but you are aware that he's there. And he like, for like anyone looking at him and like, you know how your eyes adjust and you can see a little bit better in darkness over time? Your eyes have done that, but you cannot look at his hands. It is impossible to see them. They are pitch and like, you know, the black paint that those people talk about, like that.
Anta Black.
Anta Black.
Yeah, like
Black 2.0.
Black 3.0.
Yeah.
There's nothing touches it. His hands are absolutely imperceivable, essentially. And the sound that the soundtrack begins to play, and it is like a weird sort of sound warping noise. So it is a noise that is not noise. And it is distortive, but if you are wearing headphones, they are currently working. But if you
I
are
will remind Maria to put on hers.
Did she
Put
bring
on your
any?
3D glasses now.
I think
Assuming
Vivian
you
got
did
them for
bring-
everyone in case they
I'm
wanted
assuming
them.
like the only ones who didn't bring them are the wildest dumbasses, which is me and
I
Steelhide.
think Maria assumed that because she was with Alina, she was not supposed to get headphones.
No, Alina would have made sure you brought your
Okay, then she like puts them on.
Put on your 3D glasses now.
And he reaches the front and begins speaking in a language that none of you know or understand.
Oh.
It's a chanting, and it's low and quiet and repetitive. And those of you who aren't wearing headphones can't hear it at all. Those of you who are, you can hear it, but it's very like faint and distorted. And it is getting, for those of you who are wearing headphones, it is getting quieter by the like second. And it is not a pleasant experience. And for those of you who aren't wearing headphones and are just sort of experiencing this, I would like, I will let you choose thought or power rolls for how
those
you
of us
experience.
who aren't.
For those of you who aren't wearing headphones.
Okay, power. That's
What do you say? 1 second, Ryan.
7.
Oh, I was muted. Sorry.
Oh, what did you say, Ryan?
That I was. What I was. Rue, the thing as I was sending you, that is what I'm doing. So I'm using power for
Yes.
that. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I got a
sounds
12.
good. Okay.
You got an 11.
Okay.
Nice.
Period.
And the rest of you are wearing headphones, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So both of you are fine. You're still cognizant of yourself and things around you. You do feel a weird sort of prickling, as if something is trying to blank out those senses, and you have to sort of fight against it to maintain this sense of centeredness and self as
Do
he
not
continues
like.
to speak. And all of you notice that the lights that led you down the paths to your seats are going out. They're fading and flickering, and slowly the room is falling into total darkness.
Are they actually fading, or are we like not able to perceive them as well?
Roll thought for me.
Okay. Is that just 1 or 2? Still 2?
Just whatever your normal thought modifier is.
No, I'm saying is that 1 die or 2 still? Sorry.
Oh, always 2. Always 2d6.
It's always 2. Okay, I thought so. That's 11.
Yep. So you're able to sort of like look around and notice, and it takes you a little bit of focusing, but the lights are actually going out. It's not that you can't see them, they are going out.
Okay. I'm gonna elbow Steelhide, and I've got all the headphones, so I have an extra set on my neck, which I feel like we all would, but probably just me, and be like, do you want this? Like, are you good? What's going on?
But yeah, and sort of as this progresses, whether you're wearing the headphones or not, I need everyone to make another power or thought roll, because about 10 minutes in, the efforts of your headphones stop being counteractive to the whatever is happening in this room.
I got an 8.
I got a 10. I'm gonna take out the smelling salts right now.
And 8.
I got a 9.
9.
I have 10.
10.
Sorry, I just have to.
No worries.
I don't remember what my stats are. Oh, but I rolled an 11, so I don't even care what my stats are.
So those of you who got 10s and 11s, you shake off the sensation. Those of you who got 8s and 9s, you have a bit of a headache almost. Like it is causing like a physical pressure in your brain to avoid this sensation.
Should we
Mhm.
mark experience?
No, you didn't fail.
Okay.
You are still like seeing and
Okay,
experiencing. It's just like actively giving you a headache to avoid this. And you will have a -1 to your like thought roll going forward because it's harder to make connections. It might, Birdie, if you want to, because of the situation that Maria is in, if you'd like to take a +1 forward on those sorts of rolls, because she is very cognizant of her body at all times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this service goes on for quite some time.
Alina will stand up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alina stands up and
you stand up and he stops chanting. You're not like, you couldn't quite hear it and experience it, but you do know that he has stopped.
When Alina stands
So
up,
much for a reconnaissance
Stillhive will
mission.
stand up too. Yeah.
Well,
Alina
Apia's
will-
not going anywhere. I'm maintaining my ability to fucking book it.
Alina will gesture to Maria because Alina is not entirely sure if Maria could even hear her.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I think once the headphones stopped working, she would have taken them off.
But Alina will gesture to Maria, sort of pointing towards the exit, and then, like with her hand, sort of like stand by to fucking book it. It's sort of what she's trying to say.
Yeah, it is pitch black in here, I will say.
I can't see you.
Yeah.
Oh, right, it's pitch black. Sorry,
It's pitch black.
Then she will whisper to Maria's ear, get ready to leave.
Tread carefully.
Run in the direction of the exit.
What?
Run carefully in the direction of the exit.
Roll to tread carefully to do that, to whisper
Okay.
to her.
What do I have to, with what
Isn't that
stats?
agile?
Agile. This is not technically an agile action, but this is a like you trying to hide what you're doing thing.
10.
Yep, you are able to do that. Does did you retcon the standing up then or no?
No, she stands up. She whispers and then stands up, and she will try to get up to the stage.
Oh my God, here we go.
Okay. Yes, I said the Reverend Father had stopped speaking. Yes, he
Yep.
stops. And the first thing that you can hear clearly since this whole thing started is he speaks. And it's still not loud, but it is clear. And he says, "I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you're interrupting. Is something the matter?"
Where is Selena by this point? Is she managing to get on stage?
So to get on stage, you have sort of a couple of pathways. You can sort of brute force your way up by climbing up onto the stage, or you will have to exit the auditorium and then enter through the back.
Ooh.
Like exit the main space.
Oh, I thought there were like
Stairs.
stairs at the sides
Stairs,
of the.
yeah.
They're
stage.
in the light locks, so you could go into the light lock and then go up.
Yeah, I will do that because it's it's
Easier, yeah.
it's easier for someone my age.
So I will say that she can get through light lock and get like partway up the stairs. It is overwhelmingly impossible to perceive the stage. Like you get to the top of the stairs and there is nothing. No light, no sound, no anything. And I need you to roll power for me.
That's a 12.
Cool. It doesn't knock you unconscious. You are very, like, even with your like extremely strong willpower of moving through this, you are very dizzy, and you can't navigate the stage, so you're sort of stepping forward without any knowledge of where you're going. But you are not like knocked back, and you maintain awareness of yourself. And then suddenly there's a hand on your shoulder, and Alistair's voice says, "Dear, I think you're lost. Would you like my help?"
I would like you to stop what you're doing right now.
Why? We're simply practicing.
Practicing for what?
Religiously, we are practicing.
Right. But you know what I mean. What are you doing? What's your goal?
What do you mean? What is anyone's goal through religion? Comfort, peace, a greater sense of purpose.
Then I will say this, and I want you to understand me very clearly, young man. See that it is just that. I'm threatening him. For if it's not clear. Do you want me to roll anything? So that he gets my meaning?
You're just trying to threaten him, yeah? Do you want to roll force?
I'm sure. You know what? Sure. Damn! That's a 10.
Okay. He seems to get that you're threatening him, but doesn't quite care, so to speak. He does like acknowledge that you're threatening him and kind of as if he's intrigued. And then you feel something cold touch your hand. But cold isn't really the right word. It's sort of like nothing. And before you can stop yourself, you look down, and that same absolute blackness, like everything around you is black and dark and impossible to see in, but this is that like Vanta black experience. And you are looking directly down into it, and you can't see his hand or your hand, but you can unfeel essentially that something is touching your hand that is this sensation. And I would like you to roll either thought or power.
Very well. I will add that Alina says, "Now let me leave," and she will try to leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. That's with power. That's a 6.
That's a fail. So mark experience.
Cool.
And he chuckles, and sort of as you are losing like your senses, so to speak, like as it seems your ability to hear and see and feel is sort of sucked into this sensation or unsensation in your hand rather, the last thing you hear is, "Why don't you sit through the rest?"
I said I'm leaving, and I will try to kill him.
I'm going to say you are going to have to take -2 because you cannot see or hear or know where he is.
Cool. Oh, but that's a 10 anyway.
Wow. Alina is only good at killing people. That's not true. She's good at a lot of things. She's just really good at killing people. It's like if anyone could see what was happening, it would probably be a feat, because essentially you have, without being able to see or feel, just sort of like reached out and happened to like brush up against the Reverend Father. And one of your hands is still experiencing that cold, weird, nothing sensation, but your
Like
other
when your
hand
falls asleep? Like
Almost,
when your foot
yeah.
falls asleep, kind of?
yeah, almost like a falling asleep sensation. Yeah. But your other hand brushes up against his robe and you like clutch into it like it's your lifeline. And you feel the power rush over you. And it's not quite the same as it usually is. You're not you're not entirely sure necessarily that it has fully worked. But the fabric in your hand goes lax, and something that you don't know what clatters to the floor, and like makes a very kind of like when you drop a rock, that sort of sound.
Yeah.
And slowly, the lights in the theater begin to come back up, not to their like full extent, but there is some visibility in here. And you are holding an empty like cassock robe, and on the floor in front of you is a disc about yay big, that is that Vanta black, absolutely reflective, you are looking into a hole into space essentially object.
Terrifying. Now that we can see, I'm going to grab Maria and get out of here. I'm confident that you two can take care of yourselves, but I'm grabbing Maria and I'm getting out of here.
Well, I'm much closer to Maria. And you also don't know where she is. The
Fair
exact moment the lights go up, I grab Still Hive by the elbow. I feel like Still Hive is probably paying attention too anyway. I feel like you're probably like, let's get the hell out.
Still Hive is focused.
I take the smelling salts and like smush them in my hand and kind of rub them across my face to like just have them like be like super wired.
Yeah.
And like you know that it's not like a hurdle, but it's like when you know how you go on a pommel horse and you swing your legs around. Yeah. I do that to get over the row of chairs in front of me, and then literally book it towards Maria. I'll roll for agility.
Okay, yeah, roll agile.
Because I have to do a lot. Oh no!
Oh no!
But you know what? I'm being dramatic. I've just done so well all day. I got an 8.
Okay.
I've just been getting.
Oh, I thought you got like a 3.
I was like, did you nat fail? Did you get a 1? Like,
you get snake eyes.
Roll 2d6 and gets a 1.
Yeah. Well, because if you had a -1 in that category, you could.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, actually get a 1.
But yeah, so I will let you choose because you have to have a consequence. Either you like hurt yourself trying to like get to Maria, or you like don't quite make it all the way, and are just sort of like stuck in a bit like because you're trying to get through people, and you can get to her as she's leaving, as she's already leaving.
Definitely would rather just take damage. Okay. No question.
So yeah, you bonk your knee and like your knee hurts and you're limping, but you can get yourself to Maria and like help her out. And I will say that like with the disappearance of their Reverend Father, the church is not pleased, and the members are sort of like congregating and looking at you because you are all newcomers, except for PbtA, who they don't notice in any way.
Wait, really quick. Mm-hmm. Really quick, Alina, are you going to grab the disc?
Yeah.
Okay, because if you weren't, I was going to grab the disc.
Is Alina can Alina stand and move? Are you what is happening?
Are you good?
You are on the stage still, yes.
Okay.
I thought I was in space. Still.
No, you're not in space. You're the disc itself feels like you're looking into the blackness of space. But yeah, you are on the stage, not quite in the center, but close to the center, and the disc is in front of you on the stage. And like there are a couple of the church members who are like coming towards you, or at least coming towards the stage. You're not sure what they're going for, but they are coming towards you in the stage.
I can see that happening, right? From
You can,
the front.
yes.
Okay.
What's up?
No,
Sil?
go ahead. Well, I was gonna say, I had a question, Rue. Did the thing I was trying to do work? Like, do I have a good sense of this area now?
Yeah, you have a pretty good sense of the area.
Okay. I'm going to run up. Do I have a clear path to this stage to Alina?
Like you'll have to like clamber your way up onto the stage again, because you'll it's that or go around. You will have to get through the people essentially to get to Alina first.
Okay. I'm going to use the navigational. Did you want me to roll for how? Because I'm trying to map out a way to get to Alina.
Yeah, roll power
using
for me.
Yeah.
Roll power. What's up, Apia? Or I guess Kestrel, but
Yeah, Apia. I want to do something kind of crazy.
okay.
Can I use my third move again, or do I need to wait to do that?
No, you can do that again. You can absolutely do that again.
I'd like to imitate Alistair's voice as I'm like standing in the entrance of the of the place, and I kind of like, I'm gonna say like brothers and sisters, like hurry out of the theater basically, and then like throw the doors open.
Perfect.
Everybody hurry, get out of the theater.
Roll power for me.
Okay. Everybody hurry, get out of the
theater. Your mind.
I only got a 7. Fuck.
Okay. I'm gonna give you some choices before we play this out.
Okay. Sick.
You can sort of burn a humanity and shift yourself physically to look like Alistair and add to the illusion to have it work.
I kind of want it to fail so I can take on the cult.
You can have it only work on some of them. So like some of the cult folks will begin to leave, and some of the maybe older ones who have been here longer won't believe you. Or the it will get people to turn away from Alina, but they will instead turn to you.
Okay.
And notice you, and because they haven't noticed you yet, they will notice you.
Fuck your humanity.
Yeah, Apia is going to like reach down inside of themselves with like all of their power, and like if you're watching them, like suddenly they start to shift and look like the Reverend Father Alistair, and like it looks like this is taking a fuck ton of effort on their part, and they burn through one humanity.
Okay, yeah, the new sort of like, it's sort of like there's a little bit of crunching and a little bit of like uncanny valley for a second, and then you
wacky noises.
Yeah, the spitting image of Father Alistair, and you're pointing frantically to the door, and your congregation, who has just seen you disappear essentially and reappear in the back, is awed, and immediately begins
disappearing Alistair. Disappearing Alistair.
Immediately begins hurrying out of the theater because something clearly has gone wrong.
Something's gone horribly wrong.
And so they are now clambering to get out as you are all still here.
All right. And I'm kind of like ushering, like I'm holding the door and ushering people through like, somebody would if they were concerned about their congregation.
Yeah.
So.
Alina will wrap the disc. She doesn't want to touch it. So she will wrap the disc and the tunic on the robe.
Cassock?
Yeah, the cassock.
And she will like mutter. She's sort of, she's kind of tired from the effort of this.
Fucking vaporize this man.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Like.
But she's sort of shaking a bit from the effort, and she's muttering to herself, "Yeah, you better run, assholes."
You better run.
Well, in that case, since I see Alina move, my goal was to help her because I thought she fucking died. So I'll kind of like motion to Maria, like, come on, let's help Alina so we can get out of here. And apparently, what's his face is over there, Alistair. So we got.
Yeah, because it does also work on all of you, I should say. Like all of you also.
It also works on all of you.
Yeah, Alina's probably the only one who will know for a fact that it's not the case. But only because she's very confident Alistair's dead.
Yeah, I will say you do, Alina, know that something seemed to go wrong. Like he's gone, but it didn't feel the same sort of satisfying as it usually does.
Yeah, so you are
That's
a little.
Okay.
So it's like a little confusing that like, wait, I thought. And then there's Alistair just in the doorway ushering the rest of the congregation out of the fucking building. After getting like fucking Thanos snapped.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really have a lot of time. Can I do a thought roll and try to see somebody who looks like, because the lights are on and we can see everyone now, right?
Better. It's still the like floor light, so it's not like you can see everything, but you can see everyone's like outlines as they're leaving.
Okay. Can I do a thought roll to try to see any stragglers?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come on, help me out here. You're the opposite of Joel. Okay, that's actually good. That's a 9.
Okay. There are like a couple of people who either like took a second to like be sure that it is Alistair and are like trailing behind, or are just slower people, and so they're still making their way up the aisles to be let out of the theater. Most of the congregation has left, but there's maybe a couple that if you like really hurried, you could catch.
I'm gonna tell Maria, you get Alina, and I'm gonna book it towards one of these people and tackle them.
Okay, make an act of assault.
You're right.
So that's a force
Break
roll.
this old man's back.
It's a force roll.
Okay, I gotta roll well.
Snap this man in half.
No, I don't. I'm actually good. Oh, that's good. 8? Is 8 pass with consequence?
8 is passing with a consequence, yeah. So you
Okay.
get to choose.
I see Vivian's counter is not going anywhere soon.
You get to either they get to harm. So either way, this person that you've tackled takes 1 harm. On a mixed success, they get an opportunity to harm you in return, or I get to determine how much harm you do this person as you knock them to the floor.
I'll give them an opportunity to do 1 harm to me. But can I do something physical and psychological at the same time?
You can do them in like succession, but it would be hard to do them at the same time.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tackle this person, and almost immediately after, I'm going to use my 2, and in my best mind's voice, try to mimic Alistair? And be like, wait. Yeah, and be like, wait, just to throw them off as much as possible and ruin their ability to hurt me.
Okay. I don't know.
And also disorient them. I'm really trying to just disorient.
You're just trying to wild them out.
Yeah,
do you
trying to throw him off his rhythm?
Do you roll power for that or no?
It's actually thought. It's thought to determine clarity.
Okay, then yeah, roll thought.
Oh my gosh, my computer is acting up right now. Okay, good. Something good again. 11.
Okay. Yep. They hear. They're confused. They're a little wilded out. And in tackling them to the floor, you like banged yourself up in the process, so you take another harm. So you're at 2.
Okay.
And you have this person pinned to the floor essentially, and they're not happy
they can't
about
really
it.
see me, right? They can't really
No,
see
it's
me,
dark. Well, as far as you're aware, you can't see them, so they probably can't see you. As far as you're aware.
Okay. And then I'm going to use my 1 and say, hold on. Who is Alistair and why are you doing this?
Okay. So roll your thoughts and powers and give me your best result.
Woo! The first one was always bad. Actually, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that great either. 10.
A success. And you have this person sort of like pinned, and they're a little frazzled and confused and like stuttering and like having difficulty speaking with. But when you ask them this question, like suddenly everything is clear, and they say, he is our leader, and we're making the world ready for Mr. Pitch.
Okay, that is a lead. Can I ask another question and force this again, like right away?
You can. You'll have to roll again, but yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna roll again. I'm gonna say, are you here of your own free will?
Yeah.
Or did you stay here of your own free will?
Oh, that
Okay.
They'll just tell you that. Sorry, that's
they
a
will?
question
Okay.
they would just tell me. They would just tell you, yes, of
Okay.
course. This is our family.
She rolls off of this person and kind of like kicks their butt, like now go and get. Like that kind of.
They get up and hurry out.
And then
as
I
far
look
as they're
around to
aware,
see if I
Alistair
can-
is waiting outside.
Yeah,
I look around and see if I can. Yeah.
So as like the last person leaves, I close the door, but I'm still inside the theater, and I start walking towards you guys without like. It seems like, I haven't changed. As far as you, I haven't changed back yet. So as far as you guys know, this is just Alistair, because PbtA hasn't realized they did this yet.
Yeah, I'm the closest, so I will draw my knife. Be like, bitch, hello, are you good? What's happening?
I like put my hands up like this. I don't know. Did my clothes change, or just my appearance?
Your clothes also changed.
Okay, I like put my hands up and like, whoa, hold on, but it's like. Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, again, API hasn't realized that they did this.
Before we go too much further, I think I should go check on Alina.
Yep.
Yeah.
Please.
So while Vivian was having this interaction, Maria kind of like figured out a way to get on stage, and just approaches Alina like, are you okay?
At first, Alina sort of looks very aggressively, like almost angrily at Maria, and then sort of recognizes her. And she goes like, yeah. Are you okay?
Everyone, from the way that the statement giver talked, I thought it was going to be really quiet. I don't think I've ever been somewhere so loud in my life. I'm fine.
Good. Help me down. She
course.
will sort of
give her a hand.
She will sort of grab her by the arm, like all people do when they try to make you help them.
She immediately
like
winces.
She's making Maria help her walk down to the rest of, like, get out of the stage. She's kind of forceful, but she's not like trying to hurt Maria. She is hurting
Maria.
She's just very rattled.
If you look at Maria's, she'd be wearing long sleeves, so you might just see like spots of blood down her arm, down on her sleeves. You're hurting her.
Alina will she will not say anything, but she will stop grabbing her arm and then just very lightly rest a hand on Maria's shoulder, sort of to help herself walk. But she will stop using like any kind of force when she notices this.
Thank you.
She says, "Yeah.
For trigger reasons, that is not self-harm.
Thank you.
Be aware.
Alina says, let's go home."
Please.
I will say, APA, it sort of does like fade after a little bit. Like, it's not necessarily.
I'm going to like.
Yeah.
I kind of like look down and realize, oh my god, I'm Alistair, and I like crack myself back into like Apia. But for a second, before I like go completely back to the way I was before, with my hair like black and kind of messy, it goes long, red, and straight for a second, and then goes back to messy and black. And I like kind of like cracking my bones back into the right place.
Yeah. And then Alina has Alina has the disc wrapped in a tunic, right? So there's no worry of anyone looking at it as you all head back to the archive.
Before, I want to check my phone, see if it works.
It works
Does it work in here?
Well, I should say it works
Alina.
as long as you're not standing too close to Alina. It does not work
that's what I was gonna say.
next to Alina. And like anything that approaches Alina, the screens dim, the lights start to flicker. It's like the disc that she's holding seems to affect technology negatively and like take away light.
Okay.
I do that.
I do. Okay.
But yeah,
I'm glad you started transforming back because I was definitely about to spend a humanity point to be like, who are you? Like, tell me honestly who you are.
I'm gonna put this knife right in your chest.
You don't tell me right now. But yeah, so all of you can head back to the Institute and put the disc in artifact storage unless you want to do something else with it. Like you could do something else if you wanted to, but the default is to go to artifact storage.
Apia really wants to touch it, but also knows that that's probably a terrible idea.
On their way back, if anyone is like next to Lena on the van, they will be able to hear her sort of chuckle to herself and talk as if there was someone else there with you all. Someone named Cell.
And Vivian's probably in the passenger seat, like leaning back, and Vivian looks over and she goes, "Oh, so she crazy. Okay." Whatever she was doing, I was like, "Okay, I see." Continues texting or whatever.
If Alina hears Vivian, she will just give her.
She's loud. She's like very stupid. She's like being very obnoxious.
Very loud and very stupid.
She's like doing it on purpose.
I'm not crazy. I'm just reminiscing, child.
And she's like, She's like playing. She's doing something stupid, like playing Candy Crush, something like totally dumb and pointless. And it's like, what are you doing?
If you're in the passenger seat, does that mean Maria is driving?
Probably.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're past the point of caring now, like at least today about it.
She's like way more okay than any of you expected her to be.
Me.
Yeah, you all arrive back at the Institute. Are you doing anything with the disc, or are you just safely locking it in a box in the artifact storage room?
Chucking it into the archive.
Put that shit in a box.
Not my problem anymore.
I take vinyl of the Black Album and I take off the vinyl and put on the disc. Just joke.
I got to tell everyone about making the world ready for pitch. what happened? You know,
Yeah.
I
The
agree
hell
with
that means.
that person said that.
That's not great. That's not great at all.
Yeah, that's what I was fearing.
Yeah, whatever the hell that is, right?
Hopefully they will get my message and stop doing that, at least for now.
It is nationwide. I don't
She's
know.
on our side.
I sent a very clear message.
And you also fucking vaporized the Reverend Father.
I think
Yeah.
that's the
That was a
message
pretty
you're
clear
talking
message,
about.
yeah.
That's the message.
That was a pretty clear message. I will agree with that.
But yeah.
And also, I'm imagining the disc is somewhat important for their objective. So as long as we have it, we should be good.
The disc is notably like very powerful. You can tell even just kind of by holding it through the cloth.
Do we have anything like this level of power in the storage?
There are a couple of things that are like in several locked boxes, like so there is a staff person that works at the artifact storage room, and you bring this thing in and you start talking and they look at it and they take it from you and they put it in a box and they lock that and they put it in a box and they lock that and they put it like in a different room.
They put it in a different room.
And
they put the room in a box.
And then they put the box in the institute.
And there's like, you would know, Alina, from how long you've worked here, that there are a couple of things that they've put behind like several locks and like ways to get in. There's a vase that's behind several locks, and a music box as well that's behind several locks.
Oh, music box. I don't like that. That sounds creepy.
Yeah,
as somebody who has 2 enchanted music boxes, yikes.
They're a lot. But yeah, you have acquired an artifact of the dark that needs to be contained, and in doing so, have hopefully at least set back this particular branch of the group that worships the dark from doing too much more damage in their current state.
Why can't we ever find nice cultists who just
They
want to
didn't
do
hurt.
the cult thing? What?
They just want to do their cult thing. They're just hanging out.
Did they now? No. They were trying to bring the...
Mr. Pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If it was just like sitting in a dark room with friends, that's fine. That's your business. But when you're trying to bring Mr. Pitch into our world, I'm like, no. Alina draws the line at that.
Mr. Pitch, more like Mr. Bitch.
Granted, Alina did not know that when she vaporized.
She didn't, but she said, I'm leaving. Like, you keep it cool, I'm leaving. And when they tried to stop her, she was like, okay, fuck you. So.
Granted, you didn't try to leave. You fucking walked up there and was like, no.
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 Then I tried to leave, and they didn't let me.
Then you tried to leave.
Yeah, if
I'm
there's
just making
anything,
a scene.
if there's anything last minute anyone wants to do, if not, I will do our closing procedures.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for coming. I know we went a little bit over because we started late, and I wanted to make sure they got through the end of the case. I have been Rue, your narrator. I use he and they pronouns. You can find me on Twitter as @ElanaKnight13, and here, and you've seen me in the chat maybe as @RueVD. And on Saturdays, starting this week at 11 a.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, I will be streaming with Chromatic Chimera for their Monster of the Week series. Ryan, why don't you go next?
Hi, I've been Ryan. I use he, him pronouns. And if you want to find me, just look where all the lint goes.
Birdie, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Birdie. I use she or they pronouns. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Elephant Bird, including in the chat, or on Twitter as Pekosaba.
Ari.
My name is Ari. You can find me on Twitter at thefrog_prince, where I do fighting game stuff and try to be a cool guy. I've been playing Vivian, who goes by she, her pronouns, who is a cool guy. And
Very cool.
yeah, that's me.
Kestrel.
Yeah, I've been Kestrel. I use them Zers pronouns. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Vaporwave Nashira with no E on Vaporwave. And I can't remember how to spell Nashira because I turned 19 and forgot how to read. I have been playing PbtA, who uses they, them, theirs pronouns. And you can find both of us probably in a bog.
Hey,
Ro.
I'm Ro. I use they, them pronouns. Well. I'm playing Alina, who uses she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Ro de Valois, and you can also follow the webcomic I write and my partner illustrates on Twitter at Of Dwarves and Men, or at arlefcomics.com, and you can find Alina in your nightmares, probably.
And I'd like to extend our thank you to Nova, who is our tech person and who has kept the stream running smoothly for us, and also to Rena, who you can find on Twitter as @LiquidRena, for building our layouts that you've seen tonight. And I'd like to thank you all for coming, and we will see you in 2 weeks. I think that's in October. I'm bad at math.
Ooh.
It might be October 1st.
Let me look. Yep, that is October 1st.
Cool.
Ooh,
October
spooky.
1st at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yee.
Spooky.
Thank you.
Bye.